old shit, in with the new thing. Dark as a motherfucker, color of my moon ring. My digital, always stay focused now. Steady, dry, heavy, but this my favorite go around. Love it when it's showtime. Pump the adrenaline, feeling like a kid again. Pass me a mescaline, nigga, I'm a man now. No more pants down, no need for gloves now. No more mask out, grind to your bones show. Foolproof cash route, do it for the fam.
We gonna get there. Y'all jump in the beat.
You seem to be perfect for Grumpy OG. Hannibal Heckler, Eddie Giddings, aka Eddie the Ass Eater. We got some special guests up in this motherfucker.
We got the legendary Street Team Elite.
Alright.
Oh man.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce y'all like Nori introduced all his guys.
Okay, that's legendary.
This is
He ain't gonna get it back there.
these are some incredible human beings that was here in the streets promoting the music.
Okay.
That was moving everybody
Yeah.
in the 90s, in the clubs, in the
Without them,
radio,
we can't hear
in
what
the
the
strip
fuck's going
clubs.
on.
Okay.
Without them, it would not be like you couldn't listen to shit. You can't in the air.
You wouldn't know it was out.
Exactly.
You didn't know where the jam was, where the party was, where the fuck to go.
How you mean?
You know what I'm saying?
So we have Edwin in the building.
Yes.
Juan.
Yeah.
Galang in the building.
Me.
We got Paula P. Miss Paula P.
She don't want to be on camera.
And
We got my dog
and we got Mark Gordon, the illest promoter.
Yeah.
Big parties out here in Miami. If y'all don't know Mark Gordon, you not from Miami. You was living in a seashell on the beach.
They know. I knew Mark Gordon was one of the illest ball players before he was one of the
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Come on, G.
I didn't know that. Okay.
He's so shy. I like that.
He's humble. He's humble. Just letting me know.
Promote your ball.
He's always been a baller, but he was a real baller.
Yeah, so I met him on the court. Whooping ass.
That's classic,
So you know when you meet someone who's good, you gotta act like you better, even though you're not, right? But you gotta act that shit. So I'm like, this motherfucker, that's fault, man. Fuck.
You know about that,
But
right?
I gave a fuck because he was ill.
You was going too?
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
I should have played high school ball, but I was focused on other things. But I
Yeah.
played high school ball and
You was
football.
focused on high school
We
pushing.
could cuss on this, right?
You can cuss, fuck, I'll
He
give you fuck
focused on the
15.
bitches.
Yeah, no, he was focused. I know what he was focused on.
We have a different line of questioning, but we'll get there. I just wanted to wait a second.
Are you married by any?
Nah.
All right, so
Oh,
I
so we'll
can
get
I can
there.
talk for her.
So we'll get there.
All right, just making sure.
Man,
I don't want the man to get upset. You know.
My favorite is when we ask someone, "What is there anything off limits?" They're like, "Well, we don't give a fuck. We just wanted to know." But we're gonna talk about everything.
We're gonna talk about everything.
Right? We had a dude out here we didn't even know. I didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, so Mark was an ill ball player. I ain't gonna lie, but let me tell you, he knows what I'm talking about. There's a dude that with our high school should have been in the NBA. Just didn't give a fuck about high school. He didn't give a fuck about school. Jason Guerra. You know what I'm talking about, okay? And I knew Jason since I was fucking 9 years old.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Nice? He was nice at ball, but he was nice at baseball, tennis, racquetball, football. I said, motherfucker, is there something you can't do, bitch? I hated playing with the motherfucker.
That's crazy.
Anything that he played, racquetball, motherfucking ping pong. What the fuck do you play? He will beat you at.
But he didn't care about it, like you're saying, right?
Not that he didn't care about basketball. He didn't care about school.
Yeah.
Basketball was his passion.
I got it.
He couldn't wait for his mom to come out the driveway so he can walk back to his house and skip school. You know what I'm saying? Like leave the bus stop.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, you suck. You 75 days straight, you suck. You know what I mean? Like come to school.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And I love him, that's my dog, but he should, for me, if he would have went through obviously there's a certain training of high school and college, and that they get you prepared for the league. He would have had the proper training for that because he was already illmatic. He would have been in the NBA, no doubt about it.
Fine tuned. Would have been fine tuned.
Yeah, just tuned. That's all he needed, you know that, because he never had like they played the professionalism. But when it came to any court, and he was always on my team, so we go to any court, Tropical Park, any court. You can hear dudes on the court saying, "Yo, Jason, this guy, Jason." Yeah. Man, the fuck up. Yeah, do some push-ups. He just got here. Because he's just that good. I'm not lying to you. This dude was just a fucking illmatic. So so big up to that dude.
Jason Guerra, huh?
Jason Guerra.
Guerra.
Cut up with a shut up.
Could should have. What happens? That's a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah, you right.
But listen, back to the game, man. Back to the street team because I was doing the MCing part, and you know,
Lines, right?
Boy, no street team.
I'm in the studio.
No street team.
Let me tell you something. I was spoiled. I had my own producer, my own DJ, my own everything. And then
we had Eddie and the whole crew.
So I'm in the studio blowing it down. mind you, we working. We was working at that time. We in the studio, but it's a little more fun. You dig? And we blowing them down, and he coming in all tired and shit. I'm like, how'd you do? All right, go. Close the door.
These motherfuckers is chilling, drinking, recording. But we out there like this.
It's not chilling.
Let me tell you.
But without one, there's no other. You smell me?
Right,
Yeah,
of
you're right.
course.
So, okay.
And yo,
So
that is like so many people have come out of the promoting world. If you think
for
about
sure,
it, right?
yeah.
And it's like the
Started
ground
there.
level,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then you get to
grassroots.
see everything, right?
You get to see what's up. You get the
You're
back
intimate
ends
with the
of
DJs,
it.
with the doorman.
I remember it being 4 in the morning, random days, right? And we had like epic records coming the next day, right? And we had to go put poster boards all over like the highway.
Yeah.
Dude,
I got my awesome.
my man,
You know.
Kidding me?
my man. Like I'm running away from the boys.
Yeah, no, that's
You
it.
remember that? You remember that?
Yeah.
Have a
You-
lookout. Have a lookout.
But I ain't gonna lie, the poster boy shit was some bullshit.
No, it was the
I like
bullshit,
it.
but that
It was
was
like
the
stroking
blueprint
egos,
for
though.
our
It
shit.
was, but you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
mean-
I enjoyed it.
No, I got what
I
was
was
dope
doing
is
totem
when you would
poles.
like look at it.
Boom, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom.
like,
They was like, yo.
look at it after. You were like, yo, I did that.
I was a bomber too when I was a kid. I used to light up, so that to me felt like I was just doing the
You
same
knew where
shit.
to-
You know what?
I was vandalizing.
You like baby
Listen.
Booker, man, because Booker love that shit too,
Yo,
right? Like
word.
that man will go out with his
Booger,
dude, and that man would do the whole lot 95 by
Them takes the
himself.
whole shit. It's pretty much so, but when you got someone that knows what they doing too, I had Boris.
Yeah.
Boris was on the other side of the highway. I'm on the other side. He's bum, 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 bum.
I didn't like that
Yeah.
shit. Like I
I
got what it
like it
was,
either. I like it either.
but it's like, yo, like remember they jammed us up fine.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Try to
At my
arrest
job
niggas,
recently,
all
I had
kinds
to
of
file
shit.
my
believe it.
police records, and it was on there.
Oh,
Me and him
wow.
we
Yo,
got booked
I
one
never
time.
got
My
bopped.
man.
I never got bopped for
All
that.
the conferences or whatever. Yeah.
And I went out. I ain't gonna lie. I went out one
Miami
time.
Beach.
I didn't like it.
It's in the Miami
It's
Beach
fun.
Police Department records. It came up.
You know,
It came up. That shit
on
was
the
crazy.
Dog life.
whole level,
Dog
like,
life.
it was
Yeah,
one
yeah,
aspect
yeah,
of
that's
it, right?
It's
And
not
I
a
get it.
felony.
But
You
you
ain't
know
got
what?
to
What I
start
did
that
better?
shit.
I'm gonna tell you what I did better with that shit.
It's gonna come on. I'm a vandal.
Yeah, it's all the
Oh,
it's
it's
like
that
the money.
shit.
for
On the
that.
lock and key.
So yeah, there we go.
What happened?
It's all the
wanna
money
hear
for
what
that,
you said.
like the promo.
You wonder
shit,
what?
really.
Hold on, pause.
The mic wasn't.
I want to
hear.
hear. No, I can't hear it when you're yelling.
So you got
Sorry.
headphones and his mic
It's
is
all
out?
good.
You grew up in a third world country, man.
Now
That's
we
all.
vibing right now.
Yeah, we love. Don't worry about
Nah,
it.
but yo, now the whole thing with that shit is like, there's so many levels to the promo shit.
Oh
right?
yeah, no.
So
of
you know we
course,
talking
of
about
course.
back in the era with like promo tapes and all kinds of shit,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So all right, with that,
There's no
flyers and
color.
everything else, right? Everything tying in because we go into the clubs, we doing the triangles, all
Yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of shit.
Yeah,
Like you know
yeah.
what else? We used to like killing with the using the shit that we use for displays and make them shits triangles.
Oh
and
yeah,
make
yeah,
the
yeah.
joints,
Yeah,
right?
The flats.
Yeah.
Well,
Right?
remember when you had to go to Specs and do the display?
All of that, yo.
Legendary.
How you
They,
mean, man?
we had all the displays you saw up in Specs when you went up in there. It was the street team
Yeah,
that did
yeah,
that.
That's
shit.
right.
Nah,
It was
hold
not.
up. Let's
I
go
didn't-
back, like early '90s. Like if you talking about Specs in 183rd Street Mall and
163rd.
shit.
That's yeah.
163rd.
yeah,
My
yeah,
fault. Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like flea market shit.
Yeah.
Like yeah, 163rd, the boy that
That's
talking
Carol
about.
City.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like yeah, 163rd. What was the name of the joint that
The
ran the
manager,
spot?
yeah, I can't
Yo,
remember, but she was
she
thorough.
did the illest displays I've ever seen.
Oh,
We
word.
would just have to drop it off to her.
Oh,
And she would
okay.
make it happen for you. Oh yeah. And you come back and that shit was just
That shit was
Nice,
They-
like they
yeah,
and they
yeah.
made it look like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Lazy,
Lazy.
because I think she was over there like in the early 90s. I saw Tupac in that mall.
Yeah,
Man.
Word.
Yeah, man,
Nice
before the
in-stores,
Justin
too.
came
Word.
out.
Yeah, the artists used to come through and they would do the in-stores
Oh,
and
yeah.
walkthroughs, autograph
No,
signs.
I know,
put
but
it down.
put it down.
The
It's probably the cameras on.
Oh, yeah, that-
Just put it down. You don't need it so high. Just get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Only Eddie needed that high.
Yeah, I'm sitting on phone books right
Hold
now.
on, wait. We got to back it up a little bit because I was telling you earlier about like the ass eating. What the hell is that about, Eddie? I got
Wait. Who was telling you about that?
Oh, I ain't mad at you.
Who's doing the interview?
I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? You have
Wait,
fun.
Hold up.
Wait,
I'm the only female here. Really?
Hold on. Wait, before you say that.
Really?
I want to know why you said that.
Cause yo, when he told me
Because he's
when he brought it, let's talk about all of it.
I already
When
know
he
why he's
brought
saying
it up,
that.
right?
Okay.
I was like, word. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, I think I'd heard something like that's how they
Oh,
do it.
God.
You want to laugh? You want to
Right?
laugh? You want to know
what
why
I'm
I'm
trying to
asking?
tell you is,
I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking him this particular question. Because we are Spanish,
right?
And all of my Haitian and Jamaican friends don't eat ass.
Look here, man. I'll tell you about
say hell
it.
no.
He said, also, he's shivering up. That's why you was going to scream on me right now.
One time, I was talking to this girl, right, and she's like, "Yo, why is Jamaican women so
but this
angry?"
is like a.
Right?
No, I know. These are my brothers.
Yes. Oh, I'm like, I
No.
don't know, man. Like, yo,
Jamaican women are mad because they ain't
feel like,
eating
nah,
their
why you feel like
she meet a Puerto Rican or Cuban,
lying,
and they go,
Can I say something?
then they be like, yo, these
Let
Spanish
me
guys
lead-
are
Let me
nice.
lead with a question. I'll lead with the question, maybe, because see if I'm barking up the right tree.
Yeah,
Do you like? Now I'm not saying I don't say it's your side hobby. I ain't saying it's your side job, but do you like eating that? Have you eaten that? So it's like, right? Wait, no, wait. These are yes or no's.
No.
Oh no!
Hold on.
You ain't pussy
real
though?
quick, but I get the theory though. Like,
No,
you know what I'm
no,
saying?
no.
I get the theory. Like,
The theory is always great,
I get
but do you? You eat pussy?
Man,
No, eat
yo,
pussy.
I-
Answer the question. You don't eat pussy neither. Juan, you eat pussy, Juan? I know you Spanish descent, Juan.
My Jamaican friends don't eat pussy or ass, but
I eat my girl.
yeah, you can't
talking
eat every
about
ass.
eating
You
pussy.
can't eat every pussy.
Get
Your girl. I ain't saying that you out in the street.
Hold on.
You gotta be particular. The answer is yes. My answer is yes. We gotta be particular.
Yes,
Do that
you
to
can't do them
everybody.
all.
No, you
No,
can't.
no,
I'm not saying you could do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying to do it all.
Right,
But when you get down, you do it.
Yeah,
Alright,
that's all right.
Now, do you eat ass too?
No.
No.
Hold on.
I can't help you now.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Random,
Come
like,
on.
No random.
Girl, like,
Of course you're girl.
His
No
name ain't
randoms.
Oh wait, nah, I don't know. Cause I'm looking at you. Look a little out.
Wait, no.
Listen.
Time out. It depends. You're
I'm
talking about when he
a
was.
different
You're
monster.
talking about when he was 20 or like now?
Like now though.
I'm a different.
Oh, he was a trendsetter.
You like
Yeah.
them Rick
Yeah.
James.
I've been doing that since. I've been doing this since 2009.
First one to know is
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what he told me? I'm like, yo, you can tan with Trick Daddy, yo. You
Oh
can
no,
be
no,
on
yeah,
the
I'm part of.
Tell him why
I'm
you
part of
can't.
EVG.
Tell him
Now
why
the
you
only
can't.
thing I'm not. The only thing I do not do is have a
Is?
girl eat my ass.
Yo, when he's
I would hope not.
Like that to me, I don't.
You draw the line.
It doesn't
That's
feel.
That's the difference between him and
It's
Trick.
just I'm saying it doesn't feel pleasurable.
Alright.
Trick said he fucked with that. He liked that.
Right.
He don't.
But he said it on. He said it on Drink Champs. I'm not talking shit.
all the time.
I'm just saying. I'm not talking shit. He said it on Drink
Hey,
Champs.
and listen. So we don't take too much time with the asses.
Right,
Yeah, because
Well,
you know.
We have
Right
gone
along.
into 45-minute arguments
Yeah.
about this.
No, yo,
We'll end it with this.
And we're not gonna do it tonight.
Mark,
Yeah.
I am not lying to you. We'll end it like this. We have a little saying that if you don't eat your girl's ass, somebody else will.
Wow.
That's where the problem is.
Alright.
So that would move on.
That's why Jamaican women are mad.
Right. I'm just saying.
It's proven right now. It's
You
sad.
go to Jamaica and set Jamaica.
If I go, yo, I
It's
set them
fucked up.
straight over there.
I get fucked up.
They'll be walking
This
around
shit is
happy
fucked
like a
up.
motherfucker.
All right.
Got you.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
On that note.
But that
All right,
note,
no more.
before the ass
I want
era,
some jerk.
we had a lot of
I want some
promotions.
jerk booty.
Before the ass eating era,
Jerk booty.
before the ass eating era, you had a lot of promotions.
Yes, sir.
You get back to that.
Listen, all right, yeah.
You understand me?
Let's
Because
stop.
well, I had a good question though about the promotion thing. Because there's a lot of promoters. There was a lot of promoters on the street, and everyone had their own team.
Right,
and
right,
labels
right.
had their own team.
But no one
Of
was off the hook.
No.
Hey.
That's not, no, I wasn't even going there.
Yeah.
Was there like a beef between any of the crews?
Oh,
Friendly
yes.
competition. No, wait.
I'm
Pause.
just-
A real
friendly.
Well, I ain't have beef with
Oh,
nobody.
Friendly competition.
I had beef with the out of town street team.
Okay.
All right.
Yo.
When they
Yeah,
came
yeah, yeah,
in
wait, wait, wait.
and they tried to take over and be
Yeah,
disrespectful,
yeah,
that's when it was.
I have a
That's the
story.
only time
I
it was
have a
beef. But
story to tell.
Hold on,
like,
real quick. Hold on, I want you to tell your story. We have to go one voice at a time because
No.
I'm poquito borrachos out here.
we all un poquito borracho.
Well,
Right.
I remember one time in front of Cream.
Yep.
I don't remember if it was Cameron, whatever. All I know is that we got there dumb early.
Watch out for your foot is on the
There you
We
go.
got there dumb early. We laced it up, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the time when, whatever happened. Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah, I know. Y'all off the hook.
However, yada. But you know what? An hour prior to anything happening and popping off, your peoples come and lace up and post posted all over our stuff.
Really? When?
Oh yeah.
My business.
Yeah.
I waited 20 years to tell you.
Yes.
You can keep a secret.
I never
You can keep a secret and a grudge. I said, goddamn.
Hold up.
My memory's bad, but I don't remember ever going over. And you're petty, but she got you on that motherfucker.
Let me ask you though.
That's
Did they
petty
have
praise.
an artist? Was the artist there? Because you know
Not
we
that
can't
day,
remove-
maybe the next day, but our artist was there that day. And I remember Jay once calling a whole meeting, talking about how is she the only one feeling upset about this, and I was ready to kill people's. You weren't there. You weren't there.
Yeah, was I?
Neither were you.
But how was it my team if I wasn't there?
Because it was crazy hard.
Nah.
Oh, yes, honey.
Really? One, you shaking
Oh,
your
what,
head.
you think I'm lying on you
You
now?
got the footages on that?
It seems that way. I don't know.
But I don't think it was Club Cream though. I think it was Honest.
No, honey, it was clean.
Are you sure it was
It
Cream?
I think it was Honest.
And that was when you was on.
You sure it was? Are you sure it was Cream? Cause we can check the footage. We got all the
Oh,
camera
yeah?
footage.
We got all the street
Yo, my man,
footage.
let's go. Let's
No, we
go.
got it in the archives.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
you
go.
know what? If
Let's
that
go.
happened, I apologize.
check this
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Cause
No, but it wasn't you directly.
When I have a little time, I'm gonna
who
check
you
that.
told what to do. That's it.
Maybe
At
you
the end
told
of
them
the
to
day,
do something
I mean-
and they didn't do the right shit. Because niggas
Or
be
at the
doing that
right,
shit
wrong
too.
place.
Or maybe I don't.
She
know.
wasn't
but it
there.
happens to- but it-
He
I-
wasn't
But since we want to talk about
But
the past,
usually,
that
if
was
any
it.
promo,
Yeah.
he would be there.
That was just my little
But
2 cents
never
in there.
no
I
real
feel
beef.
you.
It was on.
And that was what,
But I still love y'all, right?
That was 85.
No, my man.
85.
Be funny. Be funny, Hank. Be funny.
No, I see
No,
that you. I see that. I see that you're really feeling some way about it.
Yes, I am.
I want to get down to the bottom of this motherfucker, huh? Who the fuck put this
Exactly.
poses
Whatever
up like a
label we were dealing with, we
motherfucker?
wanted that artist to win. So it wasn't really competition between us. It was
Right.
really
I think it must have been like
Right.
Power Summit thing. Like, you know, one day this, one day that.
Right, where it transfers over fast.
Yeah. It ain't your fault, homie. I still got love for you. Don't worry about
I
it.
smoked too much weed.
Yeah.
And it was a long time ago.
It's like trivia.
And
Yeah, but
there
we're
was like
talking,
every
but we're
other
talking
weekend
about
was a
this.
fucking concert or something
Yeah,
event that we had to
yeah.
put poster boards up and shit like
Let's
that.
talk about that though, because we remember a time when Miami wasn't the shit like that.
Right.
Like
Nah.
we saw when it blew the fuck up.
Oh no,
Because
we
before,
saw from the beginning.
nothing was really going on out here.
we
Like,
saw
you know
it.
what I'm saying? And then it turned into like Party Central. Like it
Right.
became like New
Yeah.
York, LA,
They was at a
Miami.
point
Yeah.
that,
Like
man,
that triangle.
the clubs in the beach didn't even play hip hop.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it was like certain nights. That's why they gave. That's why we was partying Monday nights.
Yeah.
Tuesday nights.
Not blacks. Yeah.
Yeah, not the so-called, not the Monday nights. They playing their little house music and all that stuff.
Real talk.
But hip hop was like that's how it started.
Remember,
man.
Sugar Shack was on what night?
Sugar Shack was a
Thursday.
Thursday.
I promoted that part.
He's like, I know. I promoted that part. It was a Thursday.
It was the Club Mecca on Sundays. You know what I mean? Like Warsaw.
Yeah.
Warsaw.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nah. Like
What days was
Shout out
Onyx?
to Phil the
I
Mayor
forgot
too.
about that.
Phil the
day.
Mayor. DJ
Honestly,
Epson.
like the weekend. Like,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Onyx was like the big.
Hold
the
on,
big
hold
jump.
on. Oh, wait, you gotta take it back before I. You gotta say Paragon. Like, you know what I'm trying to tell you?
Oh, see, I
like,
remember.
Boogie had an ill show out there for How Can I Be Down one time. Yeah, like, cause you know, he stayed doing boot camp and all that.
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
had
yeah,
boot
yeah,
camp.
yeah.
Then they had KRS-One. And because it was How Can I Be Down, if RBX performed, Fife performed. This is like 95. Cause I remember, because when we were driving down there, we were listening to Only Built for Cuban Links. You know what I mean? Wu-Tang Clan, favorite hip hop group of all time. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
number one.
Don't
Number
get
one.
him started.
Okay, I ain't even
Don't
mad at
get
him.
him
I ain't even mad at him.
That's the hip hop
started.
That's the oracle right
Right.
there. nigga.
Hold up, though.
Just
I
so
love
Wu-Tang.
that.
Just so
Yeah,
Wu-Tang.
This is you're hip
That's
hop.
right.
You live hip hop.
This was built by brothers and sisters just like us.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so
let's
I love
hang.
this
I
shit.
gotta ask this question. I gotta ask this question. I know.
Real
I
quick,
don't know.
shout out to Booger and
Oh,
Archer.
yeah.
Yes.
On point.
Hold up, though.
On point entertainment.
Boy,
Yes.
J1s, man. We
Oh,
even
yeah,
get
yeah,
Shout
that
out to
J1.
J1. Jamie Lott.
They fucked
Danny
the rap,
Lott.
never missing a
Yeah.
step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
J1 was always barking at me though, but you know, he was always loved.
Yeah,
Somebody gave
Relax, man. He tried to-
No,
That's
I
how
did.
he does.
But
He probably gave him something to bark about.
Yeah, that could have been it too. That could
Hey,
have been it
listen,
too.
I'm
Hold on, you had a
quiet
question,
guy.
though.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
up?
I know we asked this to rappers. I know you know we're not rappers in the building, nothing like that, but we are hip
Shit,
hop.
I rap on the low.
We are hip hop, and I hope I'm saying the right thing by saying we are hip hop. What's the 5 elements of hip hop?
Oh, wow.
That's the
Here we go.
B-boying,
Yeah.
graffiti,
Yep.
DJ.
MCing, DJing, MCing, and
The fifth always gets him.
Yeah, the fifth is good. But as long as you got the core, no, as long as you got the core, boom. It's the fifth one that a lot of people.
It's in the debate, actually.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of people
knowledge.
always say that, but it's not.
Knowledge, of course. Okay.
Shit, you got
But-
knowledge.
You know what?
But-
though? DJ Raw, I remember this back in the day. 'Cause
Oh
we had the
wow,
same conversation.
that's a
Right.
That
yeah.
cat was like gangsterism and shit. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, you know, everyone got their own fifth element in a sense.
I guess it's
I just keep it at knowledge because if you know and you got your
Knowledge and
history,
wisdom
and-
goes together.
Yeah,
you know,
Correct.
knowledge, wisdom goes
Knowledge
to
and wisdom
understanding.
goes
And if you can
together.
understand the
And knowledge and
past,
wisdom is
So we spoke to
it brings
to-
wisdom, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
we spoke to the
exactly.
track, and he's a graph writer, and he said it for him. The fifth one was production.
Word.
You understand?
Bueno, you know, that's todo el mundo diferente.
Yeah, and it could be because I
what I'm
mean,
trying to tell you is
without the beat maker, there's gonna be
nothing
nothing to rap on.
For me, the original, let's just say, was Nas, the fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shit evolves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
it goes
does.
to different sections of
Yeah.
the world,
Of
different
course.
people, different
You
people.
gotta keep
different-
learning.
So as long as you keep the main four, which you have
Yeah.
to, those
No,
cannot
the main
go
four is
anywhere.
what it is.
The fifth one could be something that makes sense. Don't tell me
Yeah.
it's food because I'm gonna
Right,
smack it.
right.
You understand? Like
Right,
make
right.
it make sense,
Yeah,
and I'll give you the ear. You understand? But it is what
Call
it is.
it the
Yo,
the
you
core
know.
four.
And I
The
don't
core four is
Right.
facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
you
just
cannot
gonna say,
change those.
Like, not for nothing, right? Like, this is the thing, right? All right. Born in the 70s, product of the 80s, right? Was a kid
Correct.
like in the 80s and grew
Yeah.
up in the 90s,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
So we witnessed all of this firsthand. Like,
We
right?
witnessed the
Let 'em
birth
know.
of
Hold up.
You're saying what we are.
Let them know.
What's ill
Before
about
it was
it
even
is,
called hip hop,
yeah,
hip hop.
and then it was just playing outside like Punze, like you know what I mean.
That's
Some
all
shit
it
you would
was.
see
That's it.
outside.
Yeah,
that's it.
I grew up
Pop
in
lock
England.
in the corner,
I lived
you
in
didn't know
England when I
what
was
the fuck
11 years old,
Man,
right?
so you drain, big drain,
Come
loving.
on, man. You know what I mean? Manchester all day, man.
Jamaica,
So
India,
then,
London.
Yo, with that, man, you know what I mean? From a long time in the north,
Oh,
man.
shit.
So then the thing is with that, I can remember the 80s. I remember the first hip hop record I saw. And you know what it was? It was like Two Life Crew. And I'm gonna tell you how I remember.
Wow.
The cover of the record.
course.
that
Oh,
shit
boy.
was- You
Oh,
can't see
boy.
with the legs.
With the
Yeah.
two
I was
dollars.
like, yo,
Oh,
like,
how
I
you
didn't even
not
know what
look
it
at
was.
it?
And they was looking up at the
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So like move something.
Yes,
Like you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
move something.
All right, so boom. So this is in England. I'm seeing this. This had to be like
Oof.
87 or some shit.
Yeah.
Easy.
And the first, like, you know, listening to like LL, I Need Love and all of that.
Yeah.
And now, you know the first hip hop record, what made me fall in love with hip hop? I Know I Got Soul. I didn't even know who it was.
Word.
But it's like an older
I can
dude
see it.
that like a lady used to look after me. Her
Yeah.
older son had the tape. I stole
Yeah.
the tape.
Ah.
And I just would listen to it over, and I was like, yo, this is the music I hear in my head. And they actually doing this, man.
Yeah.
And then the move to like New York or whatever, and I'm in Queens and all that, and I don't even realize like I'm in Jamaica Avenue. I
That
was
they're
in
from
Springfield
Long
Park,
Island
man.
at that.
You know what I mean?
I'm from East
So,
Elmhurst.
yeah, right.
East Elmhurst.
Boy, crack was in the building them times then. But this is
LI
the
in the
thing, like
house.
Jamaica Ave, and I didn't even realize like Run DMC come from out there. Like I didn't know I was at where they making it at.
Exactly.
It was
in the
ill,
Mecca,
like, because
in
I
the
remember like
Mecca.
Slick Rick coming out and all of that. Like,
Right, right.
it's just ill to see it kind of like go from that, then go into the 90s where you're a teenager, but everybody is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's
the
like, and
90s
what's
switched
ill
up, right.
Yeah.
is all America didn't realize what we realized. And we know if you love hip hop, like you knew all the dope artists and everybody was on the same page.
Yep.
What they did is they kind of brought division into all of this. Because before, if you was in LA, you knew what Slick Rick was. If you love hip hop, you know who that was.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
exactly.
But then, like the regional thing, I'm not mad at it because it's gonna evolve, like you were saying, right?
Right.
But as a community, we don't support each other. That division is what's killing us right now.
Right.
And then I think on another aspect,
Always
of that,
about
right?
that's
Oh,
always
it's been like
Yeah,
that since
and the
the
thing is,
beginning,
yeah,
man.
right. Like you gotta respect.
Wow.
Like I'm not gonna listen to what a 16-year-old listens to, right? So like
Right.
trap and all that. Like I'm not mad at it because young people gotta have to have their thing too.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Well,
their
yo,
interpretation.
I need proper MCing though. Like you know
Of
what I'm saying?
course.
Because I know what time it is. You
And
know what I
guess
mean?
what? It's out there.
Yeah, it
You
is.
just gotta search more.
That's
because
the thing.
fucking okie doke guys labels are only pushing what the fucking youth wants to hear.
Well, what
and
can
it's
make
right.
some money
mumbo
quick?
jumbo.
They gotta
Right.
turn
Where you
over
make
that
the bread.
money. It's
You
about
can't take
streams
that
right
shit.
now.
Turn
It's
into a business.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
went away
business.
from the
Yeah,
art,
that's
the
the shit.
culture.
And then it's ran by lawyers and like number
course,
crunchers. So
of
it's not
course.
really creative no more.
Right.
When we were growing up, there was like even there was subsidiaries, there was a whole bunch of labels, so everybody got their own thing.
Yeah.
Like I remember MC Light saying because they didn't know what it was on a whole, they let like hip hop artists do whatever they felt like. You understand what I'm
course.
trying to tell you?
Of course.
When it and the thing is with everybody being individual too, right? If you think about it, like Kane didn't sound like EPMD. You know what I'm trying to tell you?
I was about to say what I
EPMD
said
didn't sound
last
like Rakim.
Yeah,
Why is
EDP
that?
didn't
How
sound like
important
them.
was that?
Very important.
So,
because
so
the
I just said
variety.
this last week.
Yeah.
We had let's just say we have 40 groups.
Right.
We have more. Let's just say we
Right.
have 40 groups. We have 40
Right.
different styles.
All hip hop.
How in the fuck can we have 40 Big Daddy Kanes?
Nah, right.
What the fuck would that be about?
Hold up, it was a violation.
But why are we?
Biting.
But why are we fighting?
Yeah, right.
But why are we talking about that?
They
Because
okay
so
to
many
bite
MCs
now.
sound the same
Right,
today.
right, right.
Well,
So we're
you
like,
know
what?
what?
Yeah.
We
It's
would not
because-
allow that
you know
back
what it
then.
is? It's
Imagine
marketable.
40 Rakims.
But it's
you would be whack.
marketable
This
now.
would be
And
horrible.
the thing is,
This
whoever's
would be
winning,
horrible.
the labels want that same thing.
Of
so it's like
course.
tentacles.
That's it.
Yeah.
They just want that
Oh,
cookie cutter
And then
shit.
if
Yeah.
you're young, you just want to get the money or whatever, and you're gonna do whatever.
You're gonna
That's
do
why
it.
we're living in the era of one-hit wonders. It ain't no albums.
No, I
more.
said
No, it's
Nobody
not.
talking
This is the
about
era
You
of
gotta
singles.
stream. You
Yeah.
streaming
Right.
a million.
This is the era of
yeah,
singles.
yeah,
And
Well,
a million
also,
ain't getting you shit
I come
either.
from
Yeah,
proper
the streams,
MC.
you ain't making no money
And the
off
thing is
seconds.
with me,
Yeah.
to Juan credit, he listened to all that shit. Like I don't really listen to all that shit. Like
Yeah.
I listen,
I don't either.
like it
I
don't
don't either.
exist.
I don't.
But
I
yeah,
remember
but-
reading an article
And
with
it's not
Nas
that I'm
and
trying
I
to
don't listen
hate.
to them.
Well, the reason
No,
I
it's not
still
about
listen-
It's
hating.
just, it's not my thing.
It's
It
it.
doesn't hit with me. It hits with you.
Hey,
No, but there's
just
a
like
reason
our
why I listen to
just
it.
like our music wasn't our parents' thing.
What's
Exactly.
what's your reason?
Yeah.
Everything evolved.
Listen,
What's
this
your
is my
reason?
brother.
What's your reason? What's your reason for
Whatever
listening?
he,
Wait, let
whatever
Juan-
he
I
does,
like
that's
I
it.
like to stay current, number one.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and I still feel
Correct.
like I'm a promoter like I was back then. So
Word.
I
Okay.
still
That's the
know how
love
to
of
break
it,
records.
though. But yeah, no,
I
that's
still know how to
okay.
break
Because
records,
unless you're
you know
making a million off it, that's the love of it.
Of course.
And I
Hold
feel
on.
like you. I'm in tune with all these. One second.
Yeah.
I'm in tune with dudes today too because
Yeah.
I just love hip hop.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I know, let's say I want to make a record tomorrow. I don't even rap no more. I do, but very vaguely. Let's say I want to do something tomorrow because I finally get inspired.
Right.
I'm not hip hop
Right.
inspired right now.
Yeah,
But let's
yeah,
say I
yeah,
do
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like shit like this gets me inspired.
Yeah, right,
I go
right,
home write a
Most
record about
these dudes
motherfuckers
ain't
tonight.
like
that.
You
Yeah.
dig?
Right.
Let's just say that I do want to make some fucking music. I need to know what the fuck's out there to know who I need, how hard I need to go.
Yeah.
I need to know what the
Correct.
confidence,
Correct.
what it is.
Right.
Yes.
To an
Yes.
extent.
Yeah.
Yes. No, this
I'm gonna be real.
this- on an MC.
Nah.
On an MC. I'm not
Most
talking
of
about
these
that. I'm
dudes is
from an MC
guys.
point of view. That's how I
I'm
feel.
gonna be real. I can
And
do
they're
the
not
same
they're not
thing.
rappers. I don't call them rappers.
No.
They entertainers.
They don't
You
call
want to be
themselves
entertainer?
rappers.
You can't
You're
keep
an entertainer all day, but
entertaining.
don't call yourself a rapper.
You
You're
know
not a
who kind
rapper.
of spoke on this a little bit? Chris Rock had an article in Rolling Stones a couple years ago, and he's like, "Thing is, right? Look at it like this. He's like Stevie Wonder couldn't have, like, he couldn't be making that dope music on that level if he had a clothing line. Like, I'm not mad at like the diversity of it, because what they've realized is hip hop can sell anything, right?
Yeah.
So everything is about the product, right? But what the problem is the quality and the standard is so low that they making cloud music right
Yeah.
now. So I'm not mad at them because I'm not 16 years old. But I'm glad when I was 16, 15 years old,
I didn't
we
have
had Nas,
Yeah.
we had Wu-Tang,
No,
we had
for
Dre
sure,
and them,
for sure.
we had Public
had-
Enemy,
we
we
had-
had
we had a
Rakim and
whole
them.
different-
Like,
yeah.
it was so dope that you would want to buy all the records and you
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
buy them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was impossible.
You could.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's something deep that you're saying too. They don't understand what it was to go to a record store and buy records. You know what I mean? On the actual day that it came out, on the release.
Nah,
date
they don't know
and
that. They don't know
stuff
that.
like that. You know,
Waiting
they don't-
outside and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
they don't know about
Like,
that.
you
That's-
there
that's
before
not-
like the workers get there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, just
No,
look at
yeah.
that from a DJ standpoint too,
Right.
right? Because I remember when I spoke to Red Alert,
Mhm.
Red Alert was like, "Yo, the transition from records to CDs
Right.
was a big thing
Yeah.
for him,
Yeah.
right? Because he Red Alert, he got records, crates.
Yeah,
that's what they
right,
know.
Right.
They're to the point now he's getting booked in places now. This shit's getting expensive to fucking carry crates. He just
Yeah.
put everything
Yeah.
on the
Well,
CD.
you know,
It's
Serato.
convenient.
Yeah,
then it
right,
went from
yeah.
a fucking CD
To
to
Serato.
Serato.
Yeah.
So now you got DJs who don't even know about fucking wax.
Yeah.
Never
Nothing about that. It's
Yeah.
easy for them to get a catalog
Yep,
of a
playlist or
terabyte
something.
worth
Yeah,
of
yep,
shit
Yeah.
Yep.
compared to the cat
And
who
become a
fucking
DJ.
had to go shop to get
Oh,
records
no.
or run up on y'all
Exactly,
to get records
to
back
get
in the
service.
day.
Yeah.
To get
Basically,
service.
had to get out their house, make that movement, go stand somewhere, and wait for y'all niggas to show up to get fucking
Real talk.
records.
That
That's
job
real
was
shit.
as hard as every other position in hip hop.
Exactly.
As MCs,
Vote,
as DJs, as
vote.
promoters.
Everybody
Vote.
involved.
If you were an MC,
Every Wednesday.
if you were an MC, you wanted to speak to somebody about your music, you wanted to show someone your music.
Hold up.
First of all, you had to get their attention to even get a motherfucking meeting. And if you get it, you got to go to their city, wait for their ass to hear your shit, turn your ass down, get back on the plane, take your ass back down to Miami.
They don't know what it
They
is.
don't know what that pressure is,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it feels
yeah.
like, what it don't. They don't never feel because they're in their house in front of a
Yeah.
computer in their fucking pajamas, singing whatever the fuck little mumble song they want to sing, upload it, and become a superstar. I see it happen.
But you know what's ill about it though?
Yeah.
It's just because the standard is so low. Because what happened
Yeah,
to me is
that
that
is
the
what it
music
is.
industry was like a dinosaur, and they didn't want to move with technology, right?
Oh,
Because
no.
they could have moved with technology and still been making maxi singles and all kinds of shit. But
Right.
when they broke the standard so low that you can buy one record for 99 cents or whatever, These are all parts of the problem. And you can't call yourself a DJ or whatever if you don't know what it is to go and collect your music. Like, it's easy now. Like you said, you can just go somewhere and download all this shit and call yourself a DJ. But you really ain't a DJ because you go to their parties, it's boring. There's no vibe. Like, you understand? There's no vibe because they don't know what they playing or they play what's on the radio. The thing is, we used to break records in the street and then it would go to the radio.
You know why you sound like that too? Because I sound like you and we all sound like you. Well, you know why we sound like that?
Yeah.
Because we're fiending for that shit to come back. We're fiending for real hip hop. But Thurston Howell said it the best.
Yeah.
Remember, we just interviewed him.
He's one of our favorites too.
He said it the best. No genre of music has ever come back to its original fucking.
He's right. He's very right. Because when money comes into the equation,
you have to.
That's it. That's what happens.
That's the focus.
That's it. That's the focus after that.
This is the
evolution.
evolution.
What it was. But you know what? I'm not mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm really
but
not
you know
mad.
what I am? I'm worried. If this is the evolution of what we have, what's the next evolution?
But here's a problem. Here's a problem that I have, right? With every other genre, there's no age limit to you making music. It seems like with hip hop, we put an age cap. We put an age cap to that shit.
And we're the only ones that diss our old timers.
Yeah, like
with the
21 Savage to say that Nas is irrelevant.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
He said it wrong. I get what he was trying to
No,
say.
stop. Don't back him up because he's from London. Don't back him up because he's from London. All right? He's now from the United States of America. You cannot diss Nas.
From the Green Card Clan.
You cannot diss Nas.
You know how Jay-Z helped him stay in the country.
Oh, boy, gunshots. Go on, let the Londoner talk. Let the Londoner talk. Manchester. All right. Manchester. You from Manchester.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell you what Manchester is. It's like when people be like, "Oh, you from New York?" Everybody from Brooklyn. So it's like, "Yo, I'm from Manchester." I said, "I'm not from London. I'm not mad at London. Got people in London, love London, and all that. But I'm from the North, though. You know what I mean? So hold up, though. This is my thing. I think what he was trying to say. He's saying to like a young person. Like they might, like I work around young people, and they kind of know who Nas is. But hold up, they don't really know who he is though. Like, you know what I mean? They might have heard a song or two, but they don't really know. They don't know nothing about Illmatic and all that, right? So hold up, wait. Which is my favorite hip hop album of all time. But hold on, wait.
But all right, I'm just saying, if you're gonna call yourself a rapper. And you're gonna say that you're just disrespecting the
Nas is not that far removed.
Nah, but wait a minute.
I just saw Nas in
know
Wu-Tang concert 3 months ago.
You were there too. Nah, but hold up. Nah, but the whole thing about that is it's evolving so fast because of technology, right? Like, you got dudes that call themselves rappers, they don't know who Run DMC is. And I'm wearing a Run DMC shirt. They have no idea who this is. And
but
it's
if you
kind of
call
like
yourself a rapper, then it's sad.
Yeah, but that's the thing about
call
it.
Yourself an entertainer,
culturally,
please.
That's where it's got to because you're dealing with a lot. They don't even know what tribe is. Like you said, they have no idea.
Then I can't call you a rapper.
So but
I call you an entertainer. If you get on stage and hold the mic, you're an entertainer.
I cannot even involve you
in the ghetto right now,
right?
That's become the thing because nobody's talking about like putting out records. Nobody's talking about managing. Or everybody want to be a rapper, right? And if you really think about it, the rapper get the least breakdown to anybody when you think about the money aspect of it, right? You could be a whole songwriter and you're like a billionaire.
Preach.
Way before you become like a billionaire rapper or whatever. But that's why they do all that other shit. And they can't focus on making quality music because that's the problem. There's no quality music. And you know what? I might sound like a grandpa right now, but my whole thing is this, right? It need to be well-rounded. I ain't saying that young people shouldn't have their lane and all that. They should, right?
Yeah, but don't make it
they have to realize that it was built with brothers and sisters that were doing this with nothing. What they couldn't imagine it turning into like this multi-billion-dollar industry.
Exactly. And when they said, "Yo, this is only gonna last for a little bit. This is a fad."
But I tell you what, though, if it came out like the way it is now, it would never last.
It would have never lasted.
It would be everything they said. It would be a fad. It would always be all that.
Correct. Because it's always a fad on the way with the sound.
Yeah,
it's changing rapidly now.
Now, talking about hip hop turning 50 next year.
Right.
I just thought about it. Us here makes 25 out of that 50.
Right.
Do we not?
Yeah.
Do we not? When we're not out here?
Even more than 25.
Maybe.
30. Because it's like, the
I'm
thing is,
saying out in these streets.
we loved and appreciated.
Yeah, but we've
enjoyed
enjoyed that in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
we didn't work it.
Making it turn into something.
But you know what it is, though?
Yeah.
Because it came from that era, like being a kid or whatever, and like growing up with it, like we remember when it wasn't in commercials.
Wow,
Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
we remember
yeah.
when they wouldn't put it in movies. Like we remember like a win, like even like Fresh Prince, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of the first time when you saw a rapper on TV, number one,
Right.
and actually dressing like us. Like, you know what I mean? Because we didn't have that before. And people really need to remember in the 80s, they didn't have black people on TV. Like I remember being a little kid,
Only
you never
Bill
seen
Cosby in them.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I mean, like random.
Good time.
You don't remember
Yeah,
those
random.
random Sprite
Different
commercials?
stroke.
Remember Sprite started touching the hand, Grand
Yeah.
Puma,
Yeah.
Extra P on the Sprite commercials.
Right.
Yeah, so they
early 90s.
they fucked with us a little bit, mainly too because of basketball.
Right.
Because basketball and hip hop was kind of like a 1-2 punch,
Yeah,
so you kind of couldn't get away from hip hop too much at the end of the
But
day.
not anymore.
Because all the- huh?
Yeah.
Not anymore because
No, not anymore.
hip hop is so fucking universal. You
Not
can't
anymore.
watch TV without seeing
Yeah,
one
hip-hop is
commercial
the
where a little
biggest
white boy
genre.
rapping his way through
It's
the
the biggest
monologue.
genre
It's
in the
like
street.
fuck, it's garbage, but it's rapping. You know what I mean?
Nah,
And it's in
for
every
sure.
commercial. You
My
can't get away
question,
with it.
What's
my
universal
question though,
about
what was the reason why Savage said what was the precursor to him saying
Well,
that?
that's the thing. No one ever plays that part because what you kind of hear or what I saw is they were all on
You saw what he said
Treehouse.
before that?
Yeah, they
Oh,
no
they
one
was on
ever plays
Treehouse.
that
Oh,
part.
fuck.
Yeah,
Well,
see, I need to
what
know
I'm
what the
saying
That's
is
what I
this,
want to know.
right?
What led to
What
that
I
exactly?
think he was kind of talking about is that, like, for young people, they don't really know what that is, and that's one thing. But the thing is, you can't look at an artist like Nas to be like, yo, officially came out like with an official album in like '94, right? And you really got to think like this dude been making records since like the early '90s, right? If you're talking about like Live at the Bar,
Live at the
Yeah,
Bar.
Live at the
17
It took him
years,
16
years
to
old.
even like
Easy.
put out Illmatic, right?
Uh-huh.
But this is the thing, right? I'm not listening to what 21 Savage talking about.
Never.
He don't know, he
Never.
ain't at where I'm at with it. Like, you know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
So meaning that he wasn't alive when Illmatic came out. If
I
he was, he
was
was
not.
dead.
But all
So
right.
he don't really know.
And I understand that. But if you call yourself a rapper and you in this rap game, you're gonna say some shit like that. You're not a rapper. Then you don't know your history. Because if you can't respect the history of what you do,
Get ready
For
for the
me,
fuck
it's the
shit.
second thing
Yeah.
when he says the respect. Cause
shit, it's the
I
respect,
agree.
man.
I agree.
Someone had, I don't give a fuck if you're a fucking shoe carpenter.
Yeah.
Someone paved the way for you to
Correct.
have a job
That's what I was
today.
saying.
Therefore,
Michael Jordan made
respect
$3
the
million a
motherfucking
motherfucking
rap.
year,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
LeBron can make $40 million a year.
Exactly.
Pay someone had
Some paid
so
homage.
someone
So
had to
if
do
you
it.
pay
all.
homage,
Yeah.
So if you
Respect
have the
that.
nuts to eat. I don't care if you're thinking that. You got the nuts to say that on fucking
That's crazy,
any
man.
national
You
level.
gotta stand on
Hold
that.
up, though.
right.
Now,
But hold up,
it's
but has
fine.
he come out to correct anything?
Hey,
No,
yeah,
I don't know
what he
about
said.
that.
Yeah, I knew a part of that, 'cause someone smacked him on his head and said, "You
He
stupid."
said that it was taken out of context and all that. This is
Yeah.
the thing. Hold on, wait. This is the thing.
You know what? You know what? I'm just biased.
Yeah.
I think he's the worst rapper
Nah, well, hold up.
that's out
Like,
right
this
now.
is the thing,
He is
though.
the guy
Cat in the
sounds
hat.
like he remember
Hold
what's
up.
that dog?
Hold
What's
up.
that dog? Droopy.
All right, but listen.
that's
He was
that's
one of my
him.
favorites. But but listen
But
to
that's
me.
him.
Nah, listen. But you know what? I'm glad he got that to go like have going on because I swear to God, that cat like is any other little young black youth. He would have been committing crimes. I'm glad he ain't in prison because it's like if you can figure it out, like hold on.
It's dope.
Nah, this is the
Call
thing,
yourself
right?
an entertainer.
This is
though.
the yeah, but a
If
lot
all
of
those
them,
other little
a lot
rappers,
of them
I forgot all
Don't
the
say you
names,
a rapper.
everyone but Lil Wayne, all those
Yeah.
other littles. If they can make it, he's a little better than
This is
them.
the thing. If you in America
Fuck,
and
we
you
got
can
little
figure it
everything.
out,
Exactly.
I'm not mad at you.
No,
But I'm not
no,
gonna say I'm
I ain't
gonna
mad at
listen
none
to
of
your
them.
music though, because the thing is, I don't like that's not speaking to me. So and my thing is like I'm not gonna say it's
Understood.
dumbed down. But yo, I'm too intelligent though. Like I came from the Rakim era, so if it
Exactly.
ain't on that
So if
level,
it ain't
guess
on
who's
that
ass-
I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
If it ain't on that
the way I
Gucci rap
feel, who's
level,
as intelligent as that?
Correct.
Nas. I haven't heard him fucking
I'm not
respond
gonna-
once,
Nah,
and
well-
he should not
No,
respond.
he don't have to
What?
respond.
It's
He
like
doesn't
he has nothing to
have
prove.
to respond.
He's
Thank you for
established.
saying my name.
I agree.
Pose down.
I agree.
Someone
I agree.
pose down.
Everybody, I've had this a couple
have
people
to
say
say
like
that.
He's
Michael
all posed
Rappaport.
down.
They
Remember
stood
that.
up for him. He didn't have to say a word. Michael Rappaport said it best. He said, "I don't expect you. Obviously, you don't like Nas. It shows in your music. And you're a cat. He said you're a cat in the hat, flip, flat, take it back, wiggity whack rapper.
And
And
rapping
he's
like
right.
But guess what? him mentioning
flippity
him
flat
saying
snap.
what he said about Nas because of the way that this whole shit is set up. Mad people who didn't know who Nas was went to go fucking check what Nas is about.
And what's that go back to? Any publicity is good publicity. You understand? In a certain way.
So
it is what it
I'm not
is.
gonna lie. He's a bozo.
And Nas not being relevant.
He was a clown.
Nas's first album is the most relevant album for me still in my life. Illmatic is a classic.
If you call yourself
yes,
hip
shit
hop,
what anyone says.
I mean, but at the end of the day, if he was to
It's
say
like
that he's
the
not
last
relevant
one.
to the young
Yeah.
people
he's
nowadays,
right.
he's
But
right.
he ain't say that.
That's what I think he was trying to say.
He missed a lot of
Yeah, I
words.
think he was trying to say that.
That makes
That's
sense.
why he
That's
missed.
why
That's
he
why
missed up words.
Right, I agree. He didn't say it
That's
right.
like me saying, "I'll kill your fucking ass."
Right, he
And
didn't
even
say
then,
it right.
and then they don't take the rest
Right,
of the
like, what
if you
happened
kill my
before,
kid,
what happened after?
Right. If you
Right.
kill my kid, but they
Right,
didn't put
right,
that
right.
part.
But then you come back and fix it too.
No, you can
Well,
tell.
if
he- nah, he did, though.
You
He
come
took
back
it-
and say, "Well,
You're
yo,
right,
they took me out of
He
context.
did, though.
I really
Nah,
want
he
to say
did.
X,
Don't
Y,
move
Z."
on.
But
and keep it
sometimes
You
the
fucked
best
up.
response is no response.
Well,
Nah,
Nas
but you
doesn't
know
need to
what?
respond.
It's like the
Nas
whole
stuff
thing.
for Nas is
And the
just-
His
whole thing.
accolades speak for himself.
And he's killing him right now. Like,
anything
the dude
21
dropped
says
the-
now won't satisfy anyone
Hold
anyway.
up, though.
So
They
they're
don't
just
give
gonna
a fuck.
Let me
ridicule
tell you
that, so
something
it's better
about
for him to
Nas,
shut the
yo.
fuck up.
His rollout for this last album, number one, the album is ill, yo.
Yo,
Like,
which
yo.
one?
Yeah.
King's Disease 3.
Oh, I
It's
thought
my
you said
favorite
that
one.
shit
Nah,
is
I not to be foul, but I was
I
on that,
thought
man.
you
Like,
said that.
I need my brain cells,
Yo,
man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He was like,
I smoke herb, man. You know what I'm saying?
Three.
So,
I
Yeah.
know I do.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
real.
no side talk over there.
Moving right along, though. Fuck 21 Savage.
move on.
We ain't here for that. We ain't here for that.
I burp on
Yeah,
him.
let's continue.
I burp
Let's
on him.
Let's
continue.
go, man.
Hold on,
I'm with
hold
him on that.
He half
I
retarded.
wanted to
right
bring
now.
that up because, well, he brought it up, actually. Mark brought it up. But I'm happy he did because I wanted to talk about that fuck shit.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
true.
Dude.
How about
Moving on.
imagine?
Anyway.
How about imagine y'all promoting in this day and time for one of these
No.
little mumble rappers because it's your job.
Let
Because
me
you work for a
tell
label.
you.
That's
So
when you
let me
quit.
just
Give me
say
that
one
check.
thing.
That's a good question.
Give me that
The
check.
hardest
Give me that
thing,
check.
wait,
Good question.
so
From there, what
between
do you
us,
do?
between us,
That check
right?
You
better
say I'm
be
gonna go
good.
change positions.
Hold up. Between us, we did this, right? The Juvenile record for me was the hardest
I love Juvie.
shit. No, yeah. Well, no one loved him back
Because
then.
you didn't
I know,
like
I
it
know.
personally. That's what.
I
No.
don't think it was.
No
I
one
don't think it was
fucking
that
with
hard.
the Juvenile High record
Oh, I love
until Jay-Z
Juvie.
jumped on the
From
freaking.
jump.
Nah.
You know
No.
what's crazy?
We built it up to get to that far.
Baby,
So,
I know
nah,
we
it
did.
wasn't.
I know
It
y'all was.
wasn't.
I know y'all was a
Enjoy that.
romance.
It wasn't. Nah,
No,
of
that
course.
wasn't
Enjoy
Jordan.
that.
Of course.
You gotta
Hold
bring it
on.
in the
Wait,
straight
hold
up.
on. Juan, I'm
Come
gonna
on.
let you speak, but I just gotta say this, right?
Did you
That
enjoy that?
record
No, I
wasn't a
didn't.
hard record. It's just because you didn't understand
No,
it.
I
I
love-
did.
I love
Like,
that.
it's like,
Okay.
nah, I did. Like, me and Dag Man loved that record. We were like,
Yeah,
we saw
y'all
it once.
did.
Manchester.
I did it.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though?
Manchester.
Oh, what a mix!
Y'all can't even
Yes.
picture who was the first person that played that record for us.
Atlanta?
No, in the streets out here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot, man.
Cool from Cool and Dre.
Oh.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played on Uncle Al's
Whatever,
station.
whatever.
Oh,
The first
okay,
dude to
okay,
play
okay.
Juvenile Hall for us.
He was playing on Uncle
Yeah,
Al's thing?
yeah.
But now, do you
I didn't know
remember?
that. That's
Do
his
you remember?
original.
I only knew him as, you know,
Wait,
Cool
wait.
and Dre.
Yeah,
But
he
the
did
way-
Marcello. He did Marcello.
Yeah,
Do we
he-
remember the conference
Yeah.
school
Yeah, I didn't
when
know
they
he
let us
DJ'd
know?
either.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jay-Z's
DJ,
jumping on the
yeah.
building.
You learn something new
After
all the
that-
time. Oh, yeah, no side talk over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was the worst record for me as far as
no,
me.
it ain't matter.
Street
Paula P
rec-
takes control all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever she's in the room, she takes control. We
Hey.
already
It might
know.
have
We
been,
already
man.
know.
I love Juvie. I always love
Give me
Juvie.
that.
Oh, good for you. I mean, I love him now.
Best one out of
I didn't love him then.
I love
When that
Juvie.
Juvenile record came out, I don't know if y'all ever used to go to a black college reunion. Boy, we went out there, that record was on fire, man. Everybody was
down
playing that
south.
Juvenile.
But this is
fam,
before
homecoming,
the
Yeah,
shit.
Wow, you right.
Nah, but-
We're talking about the build up. Okay? Remember, even
She's saying it was
hold
hard.
up,
to-
even
that's
Ralph.
rough.
Hold
That's
up,
not a
hold
record.
up.
I love that.
Hold up.
I love
Even
that.
That was a
Ralph-
lot of
I love
dope
that part of
records
it.
that
Even Rob
people
told
was
you,
like,
we
yeah.
had to double up
No,
and
no.
resend shit.
No,
Nah,
of
but hold
course,
up,
of course.
Shout out to Ralph White, Universal Records.
But yeah,
Shout out all those
yeah,
motherfuckers
I
out.
mean,
Yeah.
All of them.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Ty Dash, Garnett
Yes,
Reed, Party
Garnett Reed, rest in
Radimus. But
peace,
hold on,
rest in
no.
peace.
This is the whole thing with the I think the Cash Money thing, right? Remember, we're coming off of the No Limit era, right? And if you look
Yeah.
at Cash Money, the No Limit, it's like looking at Motown and Stax records, right?
Stax Records was kind of given the raw version of what Motown was doing, right? And it's the same thing if you look at Cash Money and Master P.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at Master P what he accomplished,
I'm
right?
not-
But
I'm
it started
definitely
getting a
not
little
mad at
bit too like glossy, and he even said it himself. He was mass producing this
That
shit.
was the start of moment.
So right, and he said he apologizes for it, and I get that. I can dig it. But
his
Cash
work
Money,
ethic,
nah, like yo,
you
to
can't
see where he
fuck-
came
you can't
from,
fuck with
because
that, man.
I remember seeing him for the first time in
You
like
can't name two
95.
other motherfuckers who did what he did.
Look, and he did it like by himself, like
I
cause
love
he
that.
yo, that dude didn't believe. He
No,
knew
that's
he was
dope.
gonna.
He was a
That's
big
dope.
nobody.
Nah,
That's
for real.
dope.
He worked
dope.
that shit.
Yeah,
And I'm not mad at him.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
figured it out. And he figured it out at the perfect time when it was
yeah,
like
perfect.
the South was kind of like they needed a voice.
You know that's the story though.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
I
as
know.
far as,
And then they follow.
Wait, we're gonna wait for Paula to tell you.
For that shit.
Paula's mad. Paula, you mad again? You grumpy?
Paula grumpy
She grumpy
OG
at
for
Juvie
real.
like a motherfucker.
Hold up. No, wow, really? Y'all motherfuckers
grumpy
want to
at
highlight on me right
Why you
now?
grumpy at Juvie?
Really? Really? No, I just said one thing. That was it.
We know, we're fucking with you.
Well,
No, because we thought you were still
let Juan-
side
Don't be
note.
emotional,
We thought you-
motherfucker.
no,
sidebar.
Sidebar
happening.
No,
Hold
no,
on a
least.
minute, Paula. Why I got
least.
something to say like Dre at the
wow.
Source Awards?
wow.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
man.
wow.
No,
What
something
you
that I
gotta
had
say?
ran across was
Jesus.
this is how LP is, like as far as
me,
like we gotta
P?
give him props.
Me?
Right.
That boy said when he was bubbling and he was ready to get that bigger check from the label, one of the first people that he met was Jimmy Iovine at Interscope.
Yeah.
And he said that he offered him $1 million.
Turn it down.
Yeah, he said he told he was with Steve Murder. He told him, you know what? Let's tell
$1
Buddy
million.
we need to think about it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go get something to eat.
And
Yeah.
So when they leave, Steve Murder's telling that man, yo, so we ain't gonna take that $1 million?
No.
You know what I mean? That boy was like, nah. He was like,
If
if that
he
white
wanna
boy
give you
wanna
$1 million,
offer me $1 million, then
what he gonna get off
what do
you?
you think we're really worth?
Right.
He
But
said,
it's
we
like
ain't going with
back to
that.
ball
So
and
that
all
boy
that.
was
Hold up.
thinking.
He was already smart.
Yeah,
Think
yeah,
about
yeah,
like ball
legend.
players.
He understood
right?
business.
If a
Yeah.
ball player
Yeah.
can get what he getting from, like, you know what I mean, whatever organization he's with, what the organization getting. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
If I can pay
If you could pay LeBron $45
billions
million,
Yeah.
what am I getting as
Yeah.
far as like an owner or anything else? It's
course.
also like
I mean,
anything
it trickles
else.
down
That's
like
a portion of the money.
business.
That's
What do you think the
business.
employees are? The
Exactly.
employees are working to make the owner fucking make
Yeah.
money.
Without LeBron, they ain't no motherfucking Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
I mean, it's
but
just a
still, you
cycle
can
of
still
life.
offer someone $45 million. You got a pretty penny coming in. You know what I'm saying? So that's just nuts. So
And he's innovative with that first deal that he did too with Priority, right? Because that's when he got the 85-15.
Yeah,
85 going to him, 15 going to the label.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Baby came later with Universal, which
He
we
got
promoted
that.
Universal. And he got
Yeah.
90, and Universal got 10.
Yeah.
So that's legendary deals that they got back then.
See, this shit I ain't even know.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yo,
yeah,
but
yeah.
peep game though.
Yeah.
Out of all of that, it's the niggas from the South that fucking crunch that shit and
That's
put
crazy.
that shit back to the labels. Like, y'all, nah, niggas not gonna rape us like that.
facts.
That's fucking money shit.
But
That
you
shit
know
was
what it
crazy.
is? If you think about the mentality of the South, they used to selling this shit directly out of the trunk
Yeah,
and all
no
of that,
doubt.
right? And it's a
Yeah.
different mentality.
Because you met your core people face to face,
But-
and you know that you could get
But
that
you
bread.
know what changed with it though? And I'll say this for the South. Not all Southern artists, but a lot of them, they didn't study the cultural aspect of this. The business side, they got it, right? But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna be like doing this, it's back to what Eddie and everybody else was talking about, right? Like, how can you do something and you don't know like where it come from? Though? So it's kind of like my whole thing with that is this, right? Because it's gonna make you better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of need to know.
Well, who would you say in that sense? Because I wouldn't make a
mean, that's
broad.
hefty.
I wouldn't make a broad
I didn't say
statement.
all.
Yeah, I wouldn't make a broad
said
statement like
certain.
that because a lot of those cats, when you talk to them, like Tony Galvin was my producer down here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He did broke trick shit, Trina,
Right.
all them niggas right there. At the end of the day, he was a big Tribe Called Quest fan.
Nah, well,
No,
hold
but you know,
on.
this is what I'm saying though.
But
You
he
had
loved
cats-
hip-hop, though.
right? But you do have a lot of those same artists
Yeah.
that loved hip hop.
But they
they
never-
just didn't try
but
to
they never
emulate
say
the
it,
Northeast
though.
shit.
But my whole thing is this, though. I'm not saying this is the thing, right? Remember, we come from an era where you, in the same, like, let's say, decade, you had like NWA out, Tribe Called Quest out, right? And if you read or if you know anything about Dre, he's like when he was making the Chronic, he's listening to Lower End Theory, and then when they make it Midnight Marauders, they listening to the Chronic. So there's like that
No, it's just
cultural
right.
exchange,
It's the
right?
respect of the
Because it's
music
all
that you
hip hop.
Can you say that you talking about South music? Outkast to me was
a nice blend.
They had their
Was
slang,
a nice blend.
the South slang,
Yes.
but they was spitting.
Exactly.
But they had a standard to
You know
it.
why can't they? Why
That
can't they
first
say that?
album.
You want to know folks they were
They
ill,
were
and they
ill.
were talking about the Atlanta
That
shit.
whole Dungeon family shit.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah,
It goes back to what he said a couple minutes, about 20 minutes ago. It is all about the support. Miami is known for not supporting each other. Why is every fucking artist from Texas on? Because they all support each other. That's what happened in Atlanta.
Atlanta did the same shit.
Why the fuck we can't follow that formula?
Louisiana did the same shit.
You know why?
This is pretty easy,
South
right?
Florida-
This is about, this is
South
bullshit.
Florida is
Yeah.
like crab. The mentality out here, crab in a bucket,
Yeah.
and
Crazy,
it's
dude.
anti-social. Like put it like this:
It's
hip
real
hop couldn't
anti-social.
originate
Real
in Miami
anti-social.
because it had to
It could
originate
not
in New
ever
York. You wanna know why it originated in
Never
New York?
could originate.
If me and Juan is cool, right, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a DJ, whatever. I'm gonna be like, you know what? You need to be my mic man. Even if that's not what he does, I'm gonna tell him he can do it.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? And it's just like if I'm a rapper and I'm rapping and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna tell him he can do it too. I'm like, yo,
Right.
it's easy. I show him.
Yes.
That's some New York shit right there. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? That don't go for
Back then, I don't
everybody.
even know if it does.
Yeah,
Back
well,
then.
now
I think-
because
I
now
think
New York
I think
lost its
because even
identity.
New York,
Yeah,
because even New York right now is emulating Atlanta.
Right,
And
New
it's
York has
real.
lost its identity.
Yeah,
Long time
Big
ago.
time fact. Where that drill come from? And it come from Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago.
Yeah, it did, but hold up. But you got to take it further than
Just
that.
'cause I
Because
got-
really,
I just
that
got
come
here
from
doesn't
like
mean-
that way of being, the style of the music and the beat and all that. That come from England, yo. They've been doing that.
Oh.
That's like evolving from drum and bass and even going
that's like
into
house music.
yeah, it evolved. But
England and it went to
that
Chicago.
style that they do, yo, I
Yeah,
mean,
Papa New
Chicago
York.
kind of pioneered it. But by the time I went to New York and you're talking about Pop Smoke and all of them or whatever, all of their producers came from England.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? Because they've been doing
So that was
that.
that was
It's
just
just
the
that's the
English
sound.
sound.
The sound, is London producers.
All right, yeah, all right.
English.
All right.
Yeah, I
Even
think-
like, you know what? They chose something different.
Yeah.
But it did start in Chicago.
Yeah,
That's where you got the
But I think the
Design
issue
for that.
the issue with Miami is that we had so many transplants that come here to make up this culture.
That was the problem.
So I think that is the
That
problem.
original Miami.
Exactly. So you find that because we had cats from California, Chicago, New
Everywhere.
York, Jersey,
Right.
everybody coming here, but everybody was still repping
That's it.
back where they came
Yeah.
from. They wasn't really loving Miami like that.
Well, see, all right, now, okay.
Because you can know that shit from when we was in high school.
No, I know.
Right?
But I will tell you one
But see,
thing.
that's why
on that
I got.
note.
But that's the thing. I got to be a little different because our crew is all from L.A., Chicago.
Oh, I was
Mine's
about to
too.
say this.
You know what I'm
Mine's
saying?
too.
New
I was
Jersey,
just
New
about to say
York.
this.
Mine's
We
too.
were from all over.
Yeah.
And we all
Mine's
rep
too.
Kendall
And
super
we
heavy
rep Kendall.
to the point where niggas
Like-
say, "Why you repping Kendall?" This is where the fuck I'm from.
That's where we at.
And they hate that we
dope.
said that. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope.
It's what we did.
And we
at.
we just had this combo. We in fact just told you that, and we could. I don't even have to go look in the history books. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it with pride. We were the first ones to rep Kendall without anyone,
no doubt.
without being scared of it.
That's dope.
People might say it in a fucking room. No
No
one said
doubt.
what the fuck I'm saying.
That's dope. That's dope.
Okay?
That's real.
No one
That's so
said they gave
dope.
us
That's
shit
real.
for that.
They gave
Niggas
us
told
mad
EFN,
shit for
yo,
that.
don't be repping that shit. That shit ain't gonna sell. Get your fucking ass up out of here.
It's
You
Kendall.
would tell EFN.
Yeah,
Look,
they're like,
fuck-
where's Kendall?
look where EFN is at.
Yeah.
Hip hop saved motherfuckers for real.
Yeah.
You dig?
Y'all put in some work.
So
Shout out
and
to
that was
Crazy Hood.
the times when we're not getting
Shout out
paid.
to
You know what I'm
E.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out.
that's the
Yeah,
general
that's
for
fam.
life.
That's fam. Yeah, fam.
Hell yeah.
Fam.
So
That's
you
my
know,
buddy
I just
right
want to
there.
say that because
Yeah.
we
Like,
had so many dudes.
It could have been done, and we reached out.
It was-
he had people, locals jumping on the mixtape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
From
saying?
back
Like,
in the day.
we
Hell
reached
yeah.
out. It
Go
could
to
have
New
been
York.
done.
Hey, so
Yo,
go
we
to
go to
New
New
York.
York. We go to New
Yo,
York.
you know
We
I've
go to
been
New York.
fucking with y'all for a minute.
Yeah, no, fact. Trust me, this is not nothing personal. No one in this room. This is all love.
Yeah.
We go to New York first time, and we had like 6 meetings set up. No joke. Def Jam, Shady, all kinds of jump off. We in Def Jam. What's up, my dog? What's up, dog? What's up, dog? And I hit the niggas in the back. Dog, what the fuck you saying dog for? What came out 3 years later? DMX. Where my dogs at? Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? I remember that day. Like they was not even listening to us because the way we spoke. They were like, y'all sound southern motherfuckers.
Remember, all them
I'm
cats
like,
also have family down south. You know what I'm saying? So they would come down here.
Everyone
time
came down here.
So you pick shit up.
It's in
and
everyone's
you go
raps.
back. You got your cousins come up
Come
top
on.
too. So talking
No
that
one crossed
shit.
the bridge though. They stay in that beach. You know what I'm talking about.
Everything,
No one
everything
crossed
was
that
about the
bridge.
beach. You could have
Yeah.
a football game in Miami Gardens. They
Yeah.
talking about live from South Beach.
Such
Like,
nice-
nigga, we
or
not
the
South
Heat.
Beach. Yeah, we not in
LeBron
South
go to
Beach.
South Beach. LeBron went to Biscayne
Don't
Beach. Biscayne
fall.
Boulevard.
LeBron went to Edgewater.
He went to Edgewater.
He went
Biscayne
to
Boulevard.
Edgewater.
Get your ass up out of here. So I'm just saying, like, when you hear them shits, I gotta rep that real quick because we've had a lot of people gave us shit for that.
For years, for fucking years.
But why not? Everybody does it where they come from.
And it's love.
Exactly.
It's love.
But it was that era. That
that fucking
everybody, like you said, a mix of everybody. They was from New York, they was from Jersey or Philly or whatever, London. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the cool shit was to rep if you were in Miami.
Oh my man, Manchester.
I'm not mad at London, all England, but you know, it's like saying New York is Brooklyn.
My bad.
You must be going back soon for the
It's like you say
love
a little bit bad at me.
Hold up,
Queens, you're right.
Manchester gets
like,
no love.
Nah,
You wouldn't even
Manchester's
have,
hot,
hold on,
son.
wait. You wouldn't even have David Beckham move out
Manchester's
flipping
hot,
Manchester
son.
United.
So he from Manchester?
But nobody ever
But
talked
David
about
Beckham
that
from
place, yo.
Manchester?
Manchester.
Nah, but that's where he built his
That's where he
career at,
played,
though.
but he ain't
Nah,
from
but he wouldn't have been
Manchester.
able to make it through the, like, yo, he started playing at Manchester United when he was 16 years old. That's like, you know what I mean? He got his skills from there.
Any other team would have got him if they had the right one.
There you go, man. Look here, man.
Come on. And Beckham would have
Listen to
said,
me. But that's
Manchester who?
that's where he got nice at, though. Like, you get nice in Manchester. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Come on, man.
Okay.
I mean, yo, we the home of the superstars, man. Oasis, where they from? Right out there, Manchester. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Mega stars. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I was
See, exactly. You don't even know who that is, man. Yeah, man.
What song they sing?
Supernova?
Yeah, all of that, man. Like, you know what I mean?
You said all that shit. Just give it to him.
Like the modern day Rolling Stones, man. They yo,
Yo,
hold up, and I'll tell you something. My father.
Rolling Stones or who else?
Where was Roots Maneuver from?
Nah, they from.
That's it. Where was he from?
He said, nah, they from London.
They from London? I'm just asking. I didn't know. I know of the artist, but I didn't know where he was from.
Nah, it's England, but I'm not sure specific because there's many different places there.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's like when somebody say they're from New York, you from Brooklyn. Like they think they did forget about every other, but everybody from Brooklyn.
Not everyone.
Not necessarily.
Some of us.
Now a
are
lot
from
of people
Queens.
think like that though.
Some of us are from
Yeah, we
Queens.
know.
Exactly.
Big up.
We know.
There we go.
QB in the building.
Yeah. Don't get
They
it fucked
Puerto
up.
Rican with
Okay,
Tim's,
some
they
of
from the
us are
Bronx.
from
Basically, let's get this right. And they
You
better have
understand
some
me?
tights on with them.
Yeah.
Queens at the Bonnie.
Yeah. Eddie told us already.
That's crazy.
Over there in Fort Rockaway.
Fort Rockaway.
Well, okay.
Far Rockaway.
And I don't know.
This game confused.
What the fuck I know?
Fort Lauderdale.
Last motherfucking talk was.
I'm from East Elmhurst.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm from the home of Rikers Island.
Stop it. What the fuck that got to do with anything?
Rikers Island was down the block.
He loves to say
LaGuardia was on the other side.
Outside, bro.
that sounds like too much traffic.
Corona.
Shea Stadium was right down the block.
Sounds like a lot of traffic.
I left when it was Shea Stadium. It's Shea Stadium to me.
That's crazy.
That's the first place I watched.
What I've been there
That's it.
since City
But
Field.
Mark, watch
Went to
this.
Brooklyn Queens
Stadium,
Day.
all that.
Shea Stadium.
All right.
Quick,
Yeah, Brooklyn
ready?
Queens Day. We,
Quick
They
jet.
don't do that no more. We don't do that
do
no more. No, we don't.
Ah, boo.
Queens in the house.
New York is whack.
Yeah, Queens is in the house.
I know this.
Queens is in the motherfucking
I know Eddie
house.
since I was
Kendall's
16
in the
years
building.
old.
So that too. Yeah,
No, we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do a quick math
But
project.
I'm born in
I know
Queens.
Eddie since I was 16 years old. So
Okay.
he about a year older than me. So he was 17. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
46.
young, huh?
He's 47.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 30 years, right?
Right.
30 years I've known him. Where have I known him at? Thank
Miami.
you. Where you from?
Yeah.
I was born in Queens, yes.
You don't say that. You say, I'm from Queens.
He from
You live your whole life out this
They
bitch.
say where you
Hold
from.
up.
Where you from is
One
where you was
third of your
born.
life in Queens.
To me, it's English. Where you from?
Where you born in Queens.
Right.
Where you became a man in fucking Miami.
Yeah.
Where
Nah,
became
hold
a
up.
man?
Nah, but he got. Hold up. I can
I-
speak
I-
on that. He got his
I always
principles
read
from
my
out
head.
there. His principles is from out there.
No, here's
I didn't say, look at his principles from his parents.
No, my childhood
childhood
gave his moral. Let me tell you
That's
something.
where you guys.
I've never changed my childhood for being a childhood out here.
I'm not saying
I'm
be
good at having
embarrassed
a
of New
childhood
York. I'm just saying.
And I came out here when I was 17.
Nah, but you know what it is?
I
I
had
know,
my teenage
you're
life out there too.
Nah, you know what it is? It's the pride of New York.
I'm
Right?
I was
It's the
from
pride of
Chi-
New York.
I was
Yeah.
born in Chi-Town. I
So-
always say I'm from
Yeah, but
Chi-Town.
you
too.
came out here when you was 8 years old.
So it's like,
And what I saw in those 9 years,
You was-
motherfuckers see when they by the time
Was
they
they called
20.
a
You
toddler?
understand?
So it's like you
Toddler,
leave New York,
what?
but you never. But like you leave New York,
Yeah.
but New York doesn't leave you.
No, I
Right?
understand.
So at the end of the
Well,
day,
no.
it's like you can go
That's
somewhere
me
and somebody will talk to you and they be
Still
like,
would too.
and
know.
somebody will
Still
talk to you
would
and be
too.
like, yo, where you from? Like, oh, I mean, well, where you from? I'm from New York, but I live in Miami, right? Because when they hear you, be like, oh yeah, because you sound like you from New York. It's like, yeah. Because New York ain't never really gonna leave you like that because it's so impactful like that.
I understand.
You know what it is.
But you know why I'm not letting you answer? You biased a motherfucker from New York over here.
No, stop it.
Nah, because
I can't.
It's
I need
like,
someone who's not from New York to answer this motherfucker question.
It's like
He's 1,000. I'm fucking
it's
with
like
him.
Brooklyn. It's like
He's right.
Brooklyn
Yeah,
ain't
he's right.
going nowhere. Like the
You want to hear a funny? You want to hear a funny story?
Where you from? I'm from LA, but I live in Miami now. All right.
I'm from East Flatbush.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh at this shit.
Right there.
Yeah.
You gonna laugh. You know I own a pizzeria. I've been in the pizza game
Can I get
30
some
years.
pizza?
Yes,
right by
so
the
I'll
crib,
let you know
too.
in
That
2
nigga's
seconds.
right
I don't
by
have
the
it
Can I
on
get
me.
some
That nigga's
pizza?
I
right
have
by
me
the
on.
crib.
He knows where it's at.
Trust me.
I need your number
got this.
today.
Listen, Mark, I'm gonna make you laugh. I've been in this pizza game a long motherfucking time.
I'm gonna go tomorrow.
I met most of my customers. They a lot of them from fucking New York. It's just what it is because my shit's New York style pizza. I learned everything from ill-ass Sicilians that were from Brooklyn, Flatbush. I'm sorry,
You got Sicilian
not
pizza at this spot?
Sorry, not Flatbush.
Bensonhurst.
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 Yes. So
Okay.
they taught me
Shout out to
everything.
BK.
I didn't learn in BK. I learned in Miami. They happen to be from Brooklyn. Ill motherfuckers taught me everything. And you know what I'm about to say. Every motherfucker walked through the door. They're like, yo, this shit tastes just like back home. Like, where were you from? Queens. Gangster. Next motherfucker to the door. Yo, this tastes just like back home. Where you from? Brooklyn. Awesome. Next dude. Yo, this tastes like fucking the crib. Where you from? Harlem. Apparently y'all motherfuckers don't get out your borough because the pizza tastes the same in all these motherfuckers.
They don't.
It's just all
They don't.
According to my
But there's
to my
Oh,
homework.
Your survey.
To my homework, to my survey and my studies, everyone says it tastes like their borough.
That's bullshit.
And that's
That's
fucking
bullshit.
awesome.
The water for
That's
the
bullshit.
fucking.
That's bullshit.
It's not
That's
the water.
bullshit.
No. It's not water. It's not water.
It's bullshit.
It's
Because if we use our own fucking water from the tap,
But tell him
and
why
they come in
the
and say,
water
yo,
wet.
it tastes just like home, it's not the water.
When it's
Blade.
tap water, then.
It's not the water.
You want to laugh
It's
though?
the sauce.
It has
It's
to be
the
the sauce.
sauce.
Why does it have to be
It's
the
the
sauce?
sauce.
Because the water is what makes the bread, right?
Yeah.
If the bread tastes good, but the sauce tastes like shit,
Yeah,
that
you named
pizza's
it.
out the door.
Yo, when I ordered
It's
a
the
pizza from that
sauce gotta
spot,
be
what
the
I tell
life
them?
of the
I tell them
motherfucker.
niggas,
If
if
Mozzarella from a Brooklyn,
mozzarella has the
Sicilian,
least
then those
flavor
are
out of
sauces.
anything.
That's the
Yeah,
sauce
yeah.
that's already around in
So
New
it's
York.
not the cheese.
But the sauce
So
is
you're
though.
gonna,
But if that sauce tastes like
But the
shit.
sauce is what makes
because
it.
the bread, that's not the
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
But it's the sauce. It's the
When
sauce.
they big motherfuckers in New York say, yo, we ship our water.
We ship our water
Fuck
from New
you,
York.
liar.
Shit. How many months
If,
is that?
if somebody's willing to buy
ain't
water,
shipping
should I
shit.
go down there and fill up a couple gallons of water and ship that shit down
You
there?
ain't shipping
Listen,
shit.
I understand. I'm pretty sure that'd be a
He's shipping
lucrative
bullshit.
business.
That is what he's hauling is
But
bullshit.
you
fill that
need
shit
that
up right in my
water every.
backyard
You
and
need that
fucking
water
sell that
every
shit to 'em.
25 minutes. They better
Yo.
be shipping the fuck out that hole.
Nah, I'm gonna come through though. You right around the
I'm
corner,
just
B.
saying.
Right around
I'm
the
just
corner.
saying. You know what I mean? The sauce got to be.
Let
Well,
me
your
let
number on
me-
my phone.
Let me
Okay.
ask
The
off
sauce
the
got to
hook
be
one.
fucking
Hold on,
one.
let me ask off the hook one question. 2022.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Go ahead.
Here we
Jock
go.
get back in the street.
Here we go with this bullshit.
If
What?
there was a budget,
Oh,
Jack,
oh,
get
I
back.
just asked
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You know, it's funny you said that.
But I just
we
asked that in a
just-
different way.
We just started a new LLC, so we ready. We ready, and the situation is right. We ready.
But I
We
just
ready.
asked that in a different way. I said, in this day and time with these mumble rappers, and you had a budget, would you go promote these?
I would still do it.
I say, give me the money. What's the
I
check?
still got love for it.
Oh, I'm on your side.
Show me the money.
That's what I'm asking.
Show me the money.
It's a
But you know
job.
what, though?
It's a job.
You can balance it out because even when we was working,
It's a
shit,
job.
shit,
Oh, we was
whack,
working
whatever,
whack shit.
You had
Yeah,
shit
of
that
course,
was all right
of course.
though.
But we
So
had to
that
work
was
and
the
Shit you didn't like.
Make sure that
But it's
we
just
got
a
a
check.
little
Yeah,
play.
I wouldn't lie about it. I was like, I need a favor.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
no, but it's a
Show me
check.
the money.
Right.
Give me a favor, I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Even though they get drinks free anyway. But
Yeah,
they like to
yeah,
hear
no,
that.
show me the money.
You gonna buy me a drink? Don't worry about it. You got a bottle right here.
Right.
Oh, all right, yeah, I'll play my shit.
Show me the money.
Yeah, thank you.
That's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna do other things, but still, show me the money, and then I
you
will make
have
my
to.
decision.
You have to do
But
other
you know
things,
what
but,
it is?
you know,
Marketing and promotion is always
it's
be
gone.
here,
But
no matter
it-
whatever you do.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like that no more.
But it's not.
Nah,
it
but
ain't
the
it's
thing
not
is,
like that.
but what I'm saying is the standard of it. Like what you
They still
learn
do
doing
it.
Yeah, you
that.
still do marketing
Well,
promotion.
it's like-
but
it's
I'm
the same.
calling. I'm
It's
saying
not
guerrilla
enhanced, right.
marketing.
No,
Guerrilla
no,
marketing.
no. But no, but that's
It's not
the
that anymore.
that's the
Vandalism.
missing element.
Think about it. There's not even specs to set shit up at.
Yeah,
I mean,
You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's the missing
sure,
element.
sure,
I
that's
think
the
that
same.
the thing is, it's more like if you're looking at guerrilla marketing on it, it's more like independence. Like you know what I mean? Like dudes that are putting out the stuff
Yeah.
themselves. They more gonna go towards the grassroots way. of doing
That's
stuff.
just-
It's
so
never
to
gonna
me-
go nowhere.
So you're
That's
saying
like, I
that
think
the way
that's
they
the way.
promote a group or a soloist or any music right now is nothing like they don't even do it the same
Hell
way.
no.
Nah, it's different.
No
Everything
one
different.
hear it.
There's no street team.
No one hear
They're
it.
not pressing a
Before
flyer.
it used to be like Before it used to be
Because
like
it's all digital.
yeah, exactly.
They got people running IG and all this shit and
yeah. Before we
that's
used
their
to
that's the new age
We
promo.
actually have marketing programs on those things.
Yeah.
You can sign up
Before
for.
we used to literally have to get in a car, go to the radio station, go to the retail store. Yeah, we had to do all that fuck shit.
Yeah. Once the MP3 dropped, that was it. It was over.
That's all it was, right?
What's Napster?
Digital changed everything.
Yeah.
Napster. Man, once Napster fucked the game up, and they was just robbing all the artists for their shit.
What's up?
That was it. That was it. That's when everything.
Natural progression.
No, that's when the street teams got cut. It was like, oh, we don't have a budget no more.
Right. All of a sudden, they don't got a budget.
Because they didn't embrace it, they lost out.
Yeah, no, it's just that shit fucked up everything, man. We was making good money.
They didn't understand. They didn't understand. That's what I'm saying.
They didn't understand it. It's
They understand it now though. So that's the thing. They was mad slow. It's just like if you're looking at like let's say like Blockbuster and all that, right? It took mad long to get into the streaming. No one got it. Netflix got it early.
Right.
But they built it on the platform that Jeff Bezos built. So that's why he's turned around, took what they were doing, and now he's
Prime
doing his
Video.
Amazon Prime, right? But because his whole thing was like the cloud computing and all that. Like the money he's innovative. Like I gotta say that. Like you know what I mean? Because even if you look at Amazon and where it came from, they thought he was crazy. Like who gonna want to buy books online?
Right. The books thing got me too, though.
The size of the warehouse.
No, the books got me the first time I seen it.
Because the thing is, his end goal wasn't just books. That was
Right.
like starting.
That was the
And then
beginning
he's
of
like,
it.
you know what? I'm gonna build a store where I'm gonna sell everything. And that's the thing. You have people right now. All they do is buy stuff off of Amazon. They don't go nowhere else.
Yeah.
He's
Facts.
killing. They were like, you could be making money from the time of the pyramids all the way till now, and you're gonna have like 10% of what that made.
Yeah.
So my whole thing ain't the money of it, but it's the innovation though. Like you gotta be like, yo, he really took something and took it to another level, yo. Early. Yeah.
One thing about Americans is that they are slave to convenience.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Once you understood that,
That
shit right there.
and customer service.
That's
But
what
those were like his biggest sticking thing. Like customer service and
Yeah.
getting it there on time.
Customer service
You know what
always
I mean?
number one.
Yeah, you know
It's
what I
always
mean?
number
But
one.
If
it's
you ain't got customer
but
service,
that
yeah.
even
Yeah.
tied back to like the whole promoting thing, like we're saying or whatever. Because that's really what we were doing. We provided customer service, right?
Correct.
Nobody don't care about customer service nowadays. You go
Right.
to a place, nobody don't care. Look at us the other day. We had Flanagan's. That girl came.
We was like, yo,
What?
where the
Wow.
fuck she at? We
It's
was
like, yo, and me, I'm not tipping.
Oh no!
I'm not
Oh,
tipping.
but so what
If
you
I don't see you,
so
I'm
what
not
you said
tipping.
was wrong. Y'all cared. That bitch didn't give a fuck. That's what's
Yeah,
different.
you always gonna care because you're the
But
customer.
that's why customer service is number one. If you come in my restaurant and I treat you like shit, but I give you the best pizza in the world, you ain't coming back.
Yeah.
I treat you like shit.
You're gonna remember the treatment.
That's why service is number one.
True.
And the food got to be the closest
Yeah.
second.
Yeah.
But look,
Yeah,
customer service got to be a fucking one, man.
Right.
Yeah, the
Customer
experience,
service is a part of the experience.
Correct.
So if I come in there and I call this the norm factor, right?
Right.
It was like from Chips.
Right.
If I come in there with the same mentality that I had when I was at Love Hate, when I was doing what I was doing.
Facts.
If I make everybody feel that they're important when they
Everyone.
walk in the fucking door,
Yeah.
nigga, you could spend $1.
Don't matter what it is.
$10,000.
Yes, yes.
But I make you feel important when I come through. I see you. I recognize
You'll
you.
be
Every time
back
you
next
come in,
week.
You'll be back again.
This
Yeah,
fact,
that's
1,000
No price.
Do y'all know who's the number one
Customer
customer
is
service
number
place?
one.
That's the
I said it in my restaurant every fucking time.
current, but
first thing.
Yeah.
though back then it
Number
was,
one.
Disney World.
Yeah.
They got people that go to corporations and teach what they teach they staff at corporations. Yeah.
And they got
Disney World.
That's just price, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. When I look for a new cashier,
They
I
got
accept
Disney jail.
applications and shit, right?
Underground.
You was smoking up in there and they caught you.
But anybody who come in, if the girl
Mouse
work for
bagged me,
Publix,
Yeah.
I'm hiring her.
Yeah.
She's already trained. She everything's thank you. Have a good day. Are you fine and pleasure and all that stuff? That's her favorite words.
They do have good customer
I
service.
promise you, the best.
They help,
I've been through a lot of cashiers. Those are the best ones, man.
That's your business owner. They
Yes.
send resumes and shit.
Yes,
You know
I
what
just
mean?
told him I take applications, but if it says Publix on there, these 15 can move to the side for 2 seconds. Facts. And I'll do a quick little questionnaire on this one, and she gonna pass because Publix gets them ready, man. They train them very well, and they're pretty much saving you money because they're already trained. They're on a POS system and the whole shit. I just gotta change the slogan from Publix to my shit. That's it.
Them motherfuckers
It's
didn't hire
easy,
me.
my G.
They hire you.
They didn't hire me.
They didn't hire me either.
Because
Because he can only work for Win Dixie. You know, Win Dixie, they hired the goons and
I
shit.
didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to
Why
Win
is
Dixie.
that? Publix got the you walk into Publix, you feel great. If it looks nice and organized, the
You go to
floor's
Win
shiny.
Dixie,
You go to
it
Win
was the
Dixie,
hood.
man.
Let's talk on that.
That's like BET and MTV. Like, you know what I mean? You got the BET budget, you got the MTV budget.
I didn't say nothing about BET.
Nah, hold up. But it's the same thing, though. It's like, I'm not, no. Let's talk on it.
I didn't say nothing about that.
It's the same mentality.
Started off rock white.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they had a budget, though. Like, if you look at, like, anything that BET does,
got a budget.
Not
really.
really.
A little more
Their budget was like real backwater, like redneck type shit. And I wasn't mad at Winn Dixie because we used to go to Winn Dixie way more than Publix back in the day.
We all know that.
And that's before Walmart and all that other stuff.
Winn Dixie has a budget.
Frescos y más.
Frescos y más. Winn Dixie has a budget. Winn Dixie has a budget. But Publix got standards. That's where the difference is. That's the difference. And guess what? They charge you because they have standards. The fucking meat is $5 more than fucking Fresco. Just because of that.
Bell peppers are $2 more.
Dog, everything's expensive in Publix. Fresco is better.
It's
It's the same food. I promise you.
And it's funny that it's pricier in the areas that you live in too.
No, Aldi's is
Publix is
That's scary.
Aldi's is that's the
I don't do Aldi's.
Durum brand, the no frill.
Bell peppers.
I don't do Aldi's.
Come on, they got cereals in bags.
I do groceries every
When
day.
you got cereal in bags, like stop it. That
horrible.
That shit is not
I want to
right.
make some frito or forget about it.
Yeah, you
no,
gotta
I'm
go
on
to
your side.
Fresco y
It
más.
used to cost you $5 for the whole thing. Now it costs you $25.
You get the sabor.
I know. Trust me, I'm in the game. I know it's disgusting. It's disgusting, man.
I used to go to Key Food in New York. They still They got Key Food out there still? War Bombs.
That was Walmart's in New York. I used to go.
I didn't go to War Bombs. I went to Key Food. They got Key Food out there? They still got Key Food?
Key Food is still around.
That's a big supermarket.
I mean, there's one of them. Pathmore shut down? That was the biggest. That was the biggest one at the time.
Pathmore. I don't remember. I never.
And Western Beef. Western Beef is still out there. Western Beef still out there. Western Beef was one of them.
So what's the supermarkets in New York now? Key Food and what?
Where you in roller skating?
Food shop, right?
You went United States of America.
That was
on Roosevelt.
real quick. Because I wasn't in the promoting world. You know, I know y'all was in that grind.
Yeah, real talk.
And I was always grateful for anyone who did that because that's just hard work. It's must needed. Everyone needs that.
I hated the hand-to-hand and take a picture, hold the flyer up. That's what I fucking hated the most.
That didn't bother me. I'd rather do that.
Everyone has a different thing that bothers them.
Yo,
That's awesome.
I love the poster boy shit. Yo, do the fucking hand-to-hand. I hate talking to people.
He would do the poster.
No,
But the hand-to-hand was cool though, because you never know who you would meet sometimes doing the hand-to-hand.
No.
Fuck 'em.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
my question was to go into that.
Yeah.
I hated
Like,
it.
who the
But
illest
there's no way to
motherfucker
do
you met
hand-to-hand.
doing your job?
You don't give it to
You know what I
everybody.
mean?
Oh.
Like, you do
Look
a
at the
promo.
person and see if they know what to
Well,
get.
I'll answer your question like this.
Like you might be promoting for a certain artist.
I
And
hated
that's cool,
that shit.
but hold on, I'm not talking about that artist. I'm talking about just someone you meet on the street.
No,
Who
well,
the
I'll just
illest?
tell you my story.
Yeah, right.
My story, I was promoting for Godfrey, let's say Barry doing them, right?
Yeah.
So that was my grind, doing the flyer thing. So so the hand-to-hand thing that changed my life was meeting my man Damon, or our man Damon, because I used to peep him going from club to club, but he always have a backpack. So I'd be like, damn, he must be doing something different. You know what I mean? So I stepped to him one day and I was like, yo, what is it that you do? And when he explained it to me, I was like, oh man, that's dope. I want to do that. So that's, to answer your question, that's what changed my life. Fuck who I met as a other person.
No,
Meeting
that's
my
a better
man
answer.
Damon, it changed my life because that's how I stepped into the promo
That's a
world.
better answer.
I went from being the flyer dude to the promo guy, and that shit changed my life forever.
Gangster.
I mean, that was legendary for me.
You made
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
sister your brother.
That's how I got here.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
That's how I
gangster.
got here.
I hated that shit.
How did the whole thing on the beach affect you when you needed to get permits to promote?
Fuck a permit.
No,
Wait, no,
Hold on. Let me talk about that.
It was called
Let me tell you something.
vandalism.
Yeah, hold on.
Right.
Back
changed the
to
word.
hold on. Wait. Because it evolved into that. Because for the longest time that wasn't a
They
thing.
was hitting the
That wasn't
labels.
really
They
a
ain't
thing.
really hit.
So
Yeah, the labels was
the ones.
nah, look. But at that point, that was kind of like when everything started falling off anyway, to be honest with you. Because like the street shit and like the regular world, there's a delay. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like the street shit is way faster moving than like what the hell like the regular world gonna say or whatever. By the time they trying to do all that, the shit was over. The game was over. Because you know what I'm saying? So they kind of caught it on the tail end, and it's a money thing.
Well, let me
you know what I mean? We're going to find you.
I think you're going to say what I was going to say.
You know what I'm saying.
Big up the craziest street team.
Echo might not confirm or deny the story.
Or be happy about it.
But
this is a proud moment.
We gave Echo
this is a proud
$1 million in fines.
I know. I was just
Echo the clothing company
for the mess
gave
fucking
$1 million
for all the promo of
for
Echo
the
that
promo we did
weekend.
on the weekend at beach.
I knew he was gonna say that.
$1 million fine that.
We had blocks with stickers.
That's how you know motherfuckers put work
spray,
in.
Stencils,
Straight, that was
spray paint.
I even got in on that.
Vandalism.
That was fun for me.
Vandalism.
I used to like doing that.
Number one.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was fun for me. I would even.
You know what though?
And they framed it.
But hold on, listen to me.
That was
it's
fun.
the hip hop way though, because off of that fine, the amount of impressions that you made before impressions was a so-called
And
thing.
it was
before it was a
fashion,
thing.
it was during fashion week.
So look here, man.
big weekends,
Look here,
right?
brother.
Big clothing weekend.
The thing is, if you hip hop, they can't tell you can't do that. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? You can't tell me I can't do that. Because at the end of the day, you don't understand what I'm doing. Say that, but you can't tell me I can't. Because I don't care what you're saying. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm gonna do it anyway. Because that's the only way we could get in the door. Like everybody gonna tell you can't do that. Nobody want to hear that shit. It's noise. We don't understand. It's not real music. But it's still here though, and it ain't going nowhere. It's the most popular music on the planet.
That's it. That's
The
it.
and what's crazy, the way I look at it now is the fucking street team is gone.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
you
That era
know
of it.
they'll say it's a digital street team.
But
That's
you
not
know what?
bullshit.
Fuck that. It's gone. It's done. I'm happy I was able to live that time.
But there's a history, right? But there was a story. There was a story that needed to be told about that. You understand? There was a story that needed to be told about that. Yeah.
You were there. Also,
Borat. Correct.
Yeah, that's dope.
You understand?
Yeah. Miami D one.
It's not gonna be.
Yeah, New
It
York
will
doing their
not,
thing
no,
with that
it will not be.
museum.
There's a dime a dozen
What
of
they got,
those
a
too,
museum
and it's
what?
not.
Yeah, the hip hop museum.
Yeah.
Oh, New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the one
Yeah. Legends.
Oh, good. I mean, as it should be.
They're gonna
right there.
open
That's
it.
long
They're
overdue.
gonna inaugurate it next year for the 50.
Nice.
For the 50th. That's gangster.
And they're gonna do 50 events to celebrate it too.
Ooh,
Yeah.
50 events.
Yeah, 50 events.
I might have to catch at least 2.
So if y'all call yourselves hip hop, y'all better be a part of that in one way or another. I'm gonna try to get a ticket for Sunday. I'm one of
Yeah,
them.
that's just crazy.
Go out there for the opening.
Let's go.
Well, first of all, like we were saying outside, we've had the graffiti aspect here, the DJing aspect, the MCing aspect. We still, like I said, we want to get the promo aspect, the b-boy aspect. We want to have everyone up in this motherfucker.
That's dope.
Because we're fans of hip hop, so we feel all these elements is what's crucial to our upbringing, to music itself, to hip hop itself.
It all work together.
As long as we still do this, and y'all think how y'all think, and we think how we think, hip hop can't die. You understand? So we did this platform because we've been talking shit for 30 years, and this is just what we do. So for 2 years we thought about this show, and we didn't make a move. And our boys was like, "Yo, we'll pay for y'all niggas to do it. Just do it." And we could not say. If we said no at that time, then we ain't full of shit. Then we didn't really want to do it. So for 2 years, and 2 years, I'm like, "Fuck you," and he's like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "We're gonna do it," and he's like, "I'm not gonna do it," and I'm not gonna do it. No, you're gonna do it. Yeah. And guess what? We're not friends no more. And one of my brothers like, "Yo, we're gonna pay for the whole thing," and we're like, oh, "We can't say no now." And I still remember the first day. It was on President's Day 2 years ago, and we didn't know what the fuck to do. We was clowning.
Once the cameras on, it was just weird. Just being
and we
on the
just
other
talking
side.
shit.
We was just stupid.
So like we told you outside, we don't really do interviews. I got questions. You know what I'm saying? But I like this is our getaway. This is our time to talk shit, be with our boys, our family. We get to bring in our other families and just show the history of our city. Because if we don't tell the story, who the fuck gonna tell the story? These people don't give a fuck about this aspect. You gotta love this shit. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just what we do. 2
or 3 people that listen,
they all gonna love it too. They're all gonna love it. Big time. They're all gonna love it. Big time. It's archived.
Hey, that's why you have to bring a special guest. You know?
Let me tell you something. You brought a blast from the past. We thought we said she ain't never leaving New York. The roots got that too stuck out there. She came back.
Yeah, we just want to acknowledge that though because we talk about this shit a lot. And Eddie, it was heavy. He don't look at it. I see it from you know when you're a third party looking and you ain't never gonna see yourself how someone else sees you. This motherfucker, I tell him all the time, and a lot of people confess it. This motherfucker is a legend in the streets. He knows every motherfucker in every club, every strip club, everything.
We come from that.
But he be acting like no one knows this motherfucker. But, you know what I mean?
But you know why though? Legend. I'll tell you why you feel that way? Because, and I think we feel that way too.
Right.
Because the amount of people that we help promote and establish, ask us how many came back to give us love.
No, it's a fuck.
You know what I mean? So that's why that man feel like that. I know exactly where he at with it.
I know.
I stay
we
with
live
my team.
Yeah,
You know,
we live that.
that's it.
I do with my team too.
That's
Right.
it.
My
You
team
know?
love me.
Is that so the point that you just made, is it a loveless situation or profession as far as it goes from like you say, like you promoting these cats?
It is. It is. Nah, being dead ass, it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why.
Because they don't know, and then you know what's funny? Yeah, but
Right.
when they come in town, and if we got to deal with them, usually we get respect for them. For the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
I never got really disrespected by artists.
Nah, yeah.
That we had to deal with. Never
This
got disrespected.
motherfucker.
Does somebody ever walk like say to you like, yo, I appreciate what the fuck you doing for me.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say
I got one good for you. Ghostface, baby.
was one.
Yes,
Method,
sir.
Method
Meth.
definitely one of them that
Niggas
I
in
appreciate.
Westland Mall and Hialeah, Little Eddie and Method Man looking for a PS1
and
cable.
I got
Him
one.
and Method.
I had to
Him
tell
and
him,
Meth.
yo, slow down, B. Your legs
That's
too
hard.
long.
I got a
B.
dude that,
That's
your
hard.
strides is longer than mine, B.
We brought our dog who's a barber. Cut all them dudes, all of them, Ghost, all of them. Like this is legendary shit.
Nah, I feel you. Well, I got one because I remember being a fan of this guy and buying his music, and then we was promoting the label, and then I think in '99 or whatever we locked in, and that's Mr. Cheeks. You know what I mean, that's my brother for
Mr.
life.
Cheeks, yeah.
I call him on the phone right now.
Yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
basic.
So yeah, that's brother. That's big cousin.
I know.
That's love.
Yeah.
That's love. No, we met a lot of
always
people like
show
that,
love.
man,
We
and
always
it's
show
dope.
love.
I remember going into my session in our office, it's 6 minutes away, like we told you earlier.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
The old spot.
I know it's my time. That's always my slot. Everyone knows it. And I walk into the door, and Karis one sitting on the couch. I said, "You can have that, teacher." I waited outside happily. You understand?
He called the office. Like I remember one time he
The
called the
illest.
office.
He's the illest.
I didn't even think it was him. Like I mean, but he's like, no, it is. Because that's when he was working out of the Warner Brothers office or whatever, Reprise or whatever. So but this is the thing with all of this, right? Like we have a natural love for it, right? And a lot of artists that we promoted, I ain't gonna lie, they did thank us for it. Like I remember them thanking us for it because they know what time it is.
You
know what I'm saying? Yeah, they know what time it is. Because the thing is, remember, when they're on promo runs, they're doing multiple markets. So they're kind of seeing all of it, right?
Yeah, quick hit and run.
And the whole thing is, you can't really have a career if nobody don't know who you are. And that's the cornerstone of promoting. Like, that's the whole point of promoting. You know what I mean? To, like, let the general audience know, oh, this is a new artist and this is what it is.
It doesn't matter what you sell, it's how you sell. Why they got a Big Mac commercial every 16 seconds? Just to remind you, we're still here. We're still consistent.
Look here, man.
You dig?
Is,
the Big Mac tastes the same here as it does in Texas. If you want to be safe, you eat the Big Mac. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, consistency is key. You know what I'm saying? That's why that branding is key.
Before, right?
Doesn't matter what you sell.
It became a money thing, right? And that's what changed hip hop, to be honest.
Always,
right?
yeah.
So the thing is, it's a gift and a curse, because it's kind of like, yo, it's a great thing to be able to live off of this and be like, yo. But the thing is, you gotta love it though. Like I think what's happening now is a lot of people involved in this that don't love it. They love the money, but they don't love the. You know what's gonna happen? Hip hop is gonna get to the point where there ain't gonna be no money in this, and then what's gonna happen is you gonna see the real people, because the real people that love this is still gonna be around, and the people that want money are gonna move on to Yabba Dabba Doo music or whatever that is.
Whatever they call it.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So
And guess what? That would be good.
yeah, I agree, and it's only a matter of time, because I was reading an article. I read a lot, so
I
I was
watch a
reading
lot
an
of battle
article the
rap
other day,
on fucking internet, dog.
They were like,
spitters are still out there.
let me tell you,
They
hip
fucking out
hop
there.
numbers in
They are
general
fucking out
are
there.
going down, because what they're doing is.
Yeah.
If you're going after like teenagers, that's fine. But you're like what you're doing is alienating like people in our age group and older, let's say, right? So obviously, as far as like the impression or the impact you're gonna have is gonna be lower.
Right.
And the standard of the music right now, like we were talking about earlier, Like, I'm not on that. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is, I'm glad he listened to the new stuff because I don't need to. You understand? Right. So I'm glad he knows so he can kind of tell me or whatever. Right. But I'm in my fly shit. Like, anytime you step in the car with me, you about to hear some fly shit because I like music. And I like good music.
Good music.
You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah,
so I'm in a whole other era. I don't listen to whack shit at all. It don't exist to me. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why I pay for satellite.
Like, if you live in a cave, you don't even know that bitch.
Man, come on, son.
I stay on radio.
And the thing is, he'll tell you any dope shit. I know he knows I know. And I tell him what the dope shit is, and then he go listen to it because he know I'm good for that. Just like I can ask him about anybody new or upcoming, and he can tell me who that is because he's into it like that. And I'm not mad, like, you know what I mean. That's kind of like the balance of all of this or whatever. Because me, if it's dope hip hop, and the thing is, I ain't talking about. There's a lot of hip hop artists nowadays. I'm not mad at anybody making music or whatever, but I'm from the '90s, so it's like when you're making a variation of that, and I grew up and know what it is. Yeah, sometimes that even turned me the wrong way. Or like if your shit is so subterranean underground that I don't get it, that's great. Like there's probably a market for you, but I ain't gonna be listening to that.
I promise you, well-spoken like a 90 motherfucker because I think the same.
You know what I mean? I'm not mad at nobody doing this.
No, man. Listen, I don't care. But this is their interpretation of hip hop.
I got a standard for myself.
It's just what it is.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you know what? Not for nothing. Like we were talking about outside, like dancehall still gives me life because the thing is, lyricism is still a thing within the dance hall.
Yeah.
So the thing is, right, it's more, and then because it's not touched by like corporate America,
right,
dancehall is always gonna be like more authentic,
more raw.
Because the thing is, you have a lot of artists where if you growing up, and I'll be honest, like the king of the dancehall is Vybz Kartel. That dude's the king of the dance. He's the best artist I've ever seen do it. He is like the embodiment of anybody that's wanted to do dancehall. Because the way he does it and his consistency, I've never seen another artist do it like that. Right. So that's dope in itself. But then you have a whole bunch of younger ones coming up. Now, they're a little bit older now, but like Massacre, the boy got lyrics. Like, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of them. Alkaline, the boy got lyrics. I can respect that more. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather listen to that, and that's where I get my life from. That's all.
Because it goes back to what we first started talking about. The respect of your intelligence, putting it to music, saying something. Substance
there.
And I guarantee you that Vybz Kartel, I guarantee you that he knows.
You know what else?
I guarantee you he knows his history.
Hold up, I'm
and
gonna
where
add
the music
on.
came from.
I'm gonna add on to that.
It matters.
It's the same thing with the younger artists. It's the same thing. They know who the older ones are. They know.
And you never hear a reggae artist come out and say, this artist that
fuck Buju or something, right?
Yeah. Oh, nobody don't care.
No. But you will hear them saying they paved the way for me to be here.
They understand that for me to be here,
he had to be there.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Facts. Yeah.
The same. Listen, the same love and respect that a conscious artist get in the dancehall is the same one that like a modern day slackness artist will get. It's the same. It's the same respect. Like, you know, and the thing is, because culturally, they listen, like Jamaica, you know, you well-rounded. You listen to everything. Like, I grew up loving country and western music because I love country and western music and gospel and all of that. Yeah, I love it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, even when you're watching the Biggie, like, documentary and he's like, yo, he used to go to the what? Look here, man. That's my first tapes, B. So the thing is, we like quality music. And that's the whole thing about it. How you mean? Like Rory Charles say, tell stories, man. You know what I mean? I lost my dog. My woman don't want to talk to me no more. Relatable stories. I have nothing. Country and western music talk about having nothing. And the thing is, it's the same thing with hip hop.
But the
ghetto is everywhere. Like, you understand? That same mentality that we have, like, let's say in England, the same mentality you have in Miami, same mentality you have in New York or whatever. When you come from not having shit, you look at things a certain way. And it's the same people in your community. You gonna see the nigga on crack and shit, you don't really look at him badly because it's like you used to see him.
You see him every day.
You know what I mean? You give him a couple of hours, you might feed him all kinds of shit because it's the same community or whatever, and it's the same thing anywhere where you are in the world.
Right.
Come to a consensus if we look at history of music, right? And say that music, not all music, comes from the poor aspect of communities at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the best music.
Yeah, right.
More inspiration.
Because at the end of the day, when if you go to country and you hear that the founders that did that shit, they're talking about relative shit that most poor people can fucking drive to, right? Hip hop the same shit. Reggae the same shit.
I lost my woman.
Right. You don't hear that.
Dog died.
I'm sorry.
Talking about shit.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
if you want to really think of, and I only use the United States because the world is, I don't know
Yeah, obviously.
Too much fucking numbers to think about. So in the United
from
States,
Manchester.
let's just say,
Where are people from though?
Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Let's
Give me a Puerto Rican artist now.
Bayamon.
and
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny's the biggest artist. He's the biggest artist in the world.
I
Like,
about Bad Bunny. All
Fango.
that kissing men and all that stuff. No, we ain't messing with that.
Well,
Hey,
that's the
but
first
like
artist
reggaeton
that
or something like that?
He's legend, but I ain't messing with that.
Oh, foundation.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Where you actually have bands playing and
Facts.
shit like that.
Right. There
What was
is
the
a
music
million of them.
What was the music about?
It's always about the country, their culture. It's
Hector
always
Lavoe
what
was
their
talking
struggle
about
with the
drugs.
living.
Exactly.
So
That's
what
my point.
no, you're
Yeah,
1,000
yeah.
on that. What I'm talking about when it comes to people relating or even the sales or like what he was saying about the country music, here's the thing. Let's just say United States, there's 50 states. The whole East Coast and like maybe a little West Coast and like 5 other states got brown and black people in it. The other 40 fucking goddamn states is all dirty old white people. That's a lot of record sales, baby.
Of course.
All of them relate to that poor shit.
Exactly.
Just how we relate to all of our people that we emulate from the hood who speak that shit. Cause
That's
we,
why
you know,
country up.
killings, drugs, cause we seen it, so we
Them
relate,
motherfuckers
right?
in
So we buy that
Idaho,
music, but we don't relate to the country, so we don't buy that. But those crackers do, and that's why they sell 40 million an album.
But the other ill
Eminem
thing,
went diamond in
listen,
Ireland.
The only, you know, I'm gonna tell you who's bigger in Ireland. Like Garth
And 'cause
Brooks
he was
is like
right
one
at
of the
time
biggest
making
artists
a
out there.
Very big impact representing, and he could rap his nuts off too. You understand? So it's easy for them to accept that. Imagine a black person spitting Eminem's rhymes.
Nah, but listen to you though.
Well,
it's like the
think
dope
about it.
thing.
Would
Nah,
he
the
get-
dope
would it
thing
be
in
the
hip
same
hop.
impact?
Nah, but the thing is, the dope thing about
No,
hip hop
Eminem's-
or whatever, and then
Let me
like
go rap
particularly
for me.
Eminem, right? Like this is the thing with hip hop, right? It represents everybody correctly. Eminem represents a certain sector of people,
Yes.
white people that don't have shit, grew up in the trailer. I don't know nothing about that, but there's a wool heap of them. And it's just like even like we're talking about in the Midwest and all that, where country is big.
Right.
It's the children of them dudes that listen, like their parents listen to all kind of shit.
Correct.
But the children is listening to hip hop. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Yeah,
Because like we're saying, the struggle is universal. And that's what I'm saying.
It is
Hip hop is
universal.
going to take a major impact. Look how big hip hop is in Jamaica. It wasn't big like that in the 80s. You understand what I'm saying? For you to, you know, the first girl to play Slick Rick for me? An older girl in Jamaica. She the first one in like 1980 something, maybe like 88, 89. Like, you know what I mean? And she the first one, and she's like, yo, this dude is like, he's good. And that's a Jamaican. She was like 17 at that time, like 14 or whatever. And she put me on to some shit. And I'm like, damn, word? Of course. But you know what I mean? But the whole thing about it is when something is dope, it don't matter. Like, you know what I'm trying to tell you?
Right? When something is hot, it's hot. Right? No matter where you want to take it, it's hot. Why? Because it has a vibe. It has an energy that it carries. You got motherfuckers who don't even speak a language. And like I say, like a Michael Jackson, so to say. And you can go to fucking some place like Japan, anywhere around the world, and motherfuckers can't speak English, but they singing this motherfucking song.
Word for word, too.
That's because that's a vibe that this motherfucking carries.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So they can relate, even though they can't understand what the fuck you saying.
Right.
So that's even bigger. That's even above all that shit. So it boils down to even say everybody else in this room, right? I know Eddie because I could see Eddie, right? If I met, say, Eddie passed, right? And I meet Eddie reincarnates himself in somebody else, and that's a possibility in life, right? And I meet this cat somewhere down the line, and I'm just like, yo, damn, nigga, you remind me of somebody that I know. People don't catch that sometimes. You be like, yo, you remind me of this cat that I know, name. He's like, your mannerisms, the way you move, the shit you say, you be like, and you dumbfounded, and you don't get it. But it's because this nigga then came back again.
Right.
And it's now you see him. It's the same shit with the music. This shit don't die.
Like the
It's
cadence of
energy.
it.
The shit keeps going.
I'm with you on that.
And that's what.
But what does that take that back to what we were saying? That's the influence of just Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Public Enemy. All these motherfuckers was Illmatic, right? And they could be dudes who wanted to, in our era, who wanted to sound like them. They just loved them so much that when they spit, it's Big Daddy Kane all day in the mirror. But you can't rap like only Big Daddy Kane can do Big Daddy Kane.
It would evolve, though.
So no, what I'm trying to say is it's okay you're influenced by that. Now do it your way. Your mom taught you how to make chicken soup. Now you make ill-ass chicken soup
Perfect, hold
and
up.
put your spin on it.
Perfect example, right?
Maybe that's all
Perfect
it is.
example
You
of
know
that
what I
is
mean?
like Nas, right? His biggest like
Everyone
influence
is
is like
influenced on
G-Rap,
Nas.
right? If you listen to like
Right.
early
Like
Nas,
Big
it's like
Pun too.
G-Rap. Same
Big
reason
Pun
why
too.
like, you know, Russell and them was like, nah, you sound like G-Rap. But he evolved though. Because of course you're gonna look up to people and you're gonna emulate people.
Exactly.
But you gotta evolve out of that and then
It
give
is.
it your own style.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is with hip hop, right? This is each one teach one, and the way we were teaching each other before is through records. So
Right.
you know what I mean? Like we built an entire industry off of thoughts. Think about what I'm trying to tell you, right? Just thoughts in your head, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about shit that I don't even have, and then guess what? I'm gonna get it. Like, you understand what I'm trying to tell you? So that's the whole thing with it. The whole aspect that we're missing now is it's not we're like well-rounded, let's say.
Right.
And that is what it
It's
is, because
not.
like we said, because of the money creeping in and all that, it made it like
That's
lopsided,
what it is,
right?
This is a
But
capitalism country.
let me
Let's be
tell you,
real.
I'm just
It's
glad
about
that
money.
everybody in this room know what time it is.
Yeah.
Because we know the difference between whack shit and like shit that
That's
like
it.
speaks to us with a cultural
That's it.
aspect,
Right,
right?
right.
Like I don't like look, man, I go to the strip club cool with me or whatever, but I don't live in the strip club though. Like you know what I'm saying? So I don't really need to listen to that shit all the time. In the strip club it makes sense, right? But then the thing is, even in that like aspect of it, it's not well rounded. They playing the same shit over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
And there's a way that you like back in the day, yo. Like I tell Wine all the time, right? Because I can't wait till we get us one, because we gonna get us one, right? Because they're not doing it right, and I'm not mad at them. Because we go, we study, and we look at it, and we love that shit, right? But back in the day, you go to the strip club, 2 fast songs, 1 slow one. But because R&B doesn't exist no more, you don't get that no more. And it's switched the whole dynamic of that vibe. Like, you know what I'm trying to tell you? If you don't know what going
So
to a
in
strip
other
club
words,
is, unless
you was
going
waiting
to
for that
1990.
R&B song to get the dance.
What?
'Cause
Now,
it was
yo,
the longest-
anybody
it
that
was
would
the
tell
longest
you,
song.
yo, anybody, you know what time it is. Anybody that would talk to you, right?
the
Like an
science
old
behind
head,
that?
what?
My
Any
nigga.
old head, or like you go and like, you know, it's like a brother that's like a year older than you.
That's awesome.
He be like, look, man. Don't get no dance song like the fast
Don't get
songs.
that, right.
Wait for the third song, and you about to get you a dance. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's a whole, and like I said, Eddie, I don't know
Awesome.
about you, but me and Juan go to the hoodest clubs, right? And we have the
No,
best
I
time in
was
the
there
hoodest
when
ones,
I was in and
right?
out.
In the deep hood. What, I can smoke my weed in there, this nigga's girls in there. I'm in heaven. It's a black man heaven. Now I'm trying to tell you.
That's all you needed.
So my whole thing with that is, right? And then think about it, them times there, they weren't even playing hip hop. You would go in there and there no real hip hop like that or whatever. Like, but what I'm saying is, it's just funny how things like evolve and change or whatever, because all of this ain't on one level. It's changed so many things. Like, you know what I mean? Because like I said, the world keeps on going, but because they're going that way, I'm going this way. Because I know what time it is.
you're not a sheep.
And I don't gotta follow the masses,
Well,
right? And like I said, the way I've set up things now, like even all down to my Facebook, I don't Facebook like anybody else. Believe you me, because it's not a whole bunch of high school friends. I'm not mad at that, but that's not the way my shit is set up. My shit is set up where it's like artists, like whether it be poets, dudes that like make art, philosophers. When I go on my timeline, and for the longest time, that's what I see. You understand what I'm saying? And it inspires me, and that's why I like going on there, and I'm gonna like learn and hear about some shit. You know what I mean? And that's how I'm able to bring it back to the people that I care about. Like, yo, I saw this dope interview, send it to them. That's what I use my Facebook for. You know what I mean? I don't be on there watching the cat fuck with like balls.
He just does
and shit.
Facebook Day.
You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck that. What inspiration I'm gonna get off of that? Nah, I'm like, hey, I need inspiration in my life on a daily basis.
Don't follow Eddie.
You understand what I'm saying?
My timeline will fuck up your whole timeline.
Fuck your ass
You're gonna
up.
be mad at me for that shit. You're gonna be like,
lying.
damn,
What
dog.
are you
This nigga right here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
suck.
yeah.
This
My shit is
motherfucker right
fights,
here.
Big chick, BBWs,
Wow, all right.
all that. Yeah.
That's a trip in your mind right there.
His algorithm is fucked up.
It's fun. It's
Yo,
fun.
Heck, what
It's
you
fun.
think about pushing adult contemporary hip hop?
That should be a real thing.
Like that should be a
what is it?
real
What-
adult contemporary hip hop.
I mean,
like what we talking
Adult
about, like the
Right.
shit that you would want to listen to.
Right.
The artists, because there's still, like you said, there's still artists out there making music,
There is plenty.
including yourself, including myself.
Yeah, plenty.
There should be a
I
genre
wanna
for
add
that.
on
So
to what you're saying.
like you, when somebody can, like a 21 Savage can come out and say, "Oh, Nas isn't relevant anymore," however he said it, right?
Right.
There should be that's there. They shouldn't. I mean, like, and we can't look for the labels to do it because the labels is about money.
Right.
So they're gonna target the youth because at the end of the day, the youth's attention span is so short that they can just throw fucking 1,000 songs at them niggas a month, and they'll be in there streaming them fucking 1,000 songs a month.
Right.
Adult contemporary.
You want to know what I think?
adult contemporary
I have
hip hop at the end of
a
the
quick
day.
comment.
Listen, that was very like thought out and very.
He's not used to that.
No, for real.
Words.
What I'm trying to say is, I don't feel that we should add on to what hip hop is. Hip hop is hip hop.
It's not an add-on.
It's contemporary.
No, when I say adult,
contemporary adult hip hop.
all right, adult contemporary hip hop. It would be 90s hip hop, right? Just to say.
We just say 90s.
But no, but you're but you're not gonna say
Really,
90s
Eddie?
hip hop because then
Really,
you put it in a frame where it doesn't need to be in.
You understand? So if I say 90s hip hop,
Okay.
you always think about 90s hip hop, right?
That's what
so if I say
I was going to say. Adult
hip-hop,
contemporary hip hop in my brain as a hip hopper, that puts it in a frame.
Yes, it does.
Now, well, I'm going to tell you why,
hip-hop.
as an artist, why
Hip-hop.
I don't want that. I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because
They
I
not
feel.
hip hop.
No, listen.
They don't rap good.
Right.
You're not hip hop.
This is what I do.
You're an entertainer.
And
When
I've
you
been
rap
thinking about this
good,
lately. Like,
you hip hop.
I love making music. I got a studio right behind this motherfucking wall. I can make music any fucking day I want. I can be mad at anybody I want instead of fucking their ass up. Just go make a song about their ass. I love that I have that exit, right? Outlet. Thank you. And this is what's so awesome about music. It's a great outlet for me. I don't know how anyone else
shit for me.
So here's the thing: is I look at myself as when I go into the studio, I always want to write something where I feel like it's gonna make someone one line out of the fucking 80 bars. Just one line has to be a stinger. Has to be like, I ain't never gonna forget this shit ever in my life. Like, this is how I feel. I feel like I want to be the best motherfucker I can ever spit every time I spit. Like, motherfuckers love what I spit last week. I can't wait to show I'm gonna do this motherfucking week. Right. At my age is how I feel. I feel like I'm a better spitter now. You dig? So with that, I want to go in and write something, right? That just fits into hip hop with no category. Just this motherfucker is raw. End of story. He's not raw for the 90s. He ain't raw for 2000. He ain't raw for fucking drill. He ain't raw for nothing. He's just raw in hip hop. That's all I want. I don't want no more labels on
but you're still hip hop.
You know?
At the end of the day, you're still hip hop. It didn't take
I know.
On the frame of hip hop. The problem,
I know,
the point is,
but they would put you in a box, and they would say, and the next adult contemporary rapper is. And that's not what I want to hear. I want to hear the next rapper is. You understand? And rapper is watering down shit.
The system
you know what I'm saying?
But the system isn't
MC
set up
is
like that.
much better for me.
The reason why I say that because the system isn't set up like that.
And it will be if money comes around because it's always about business.
Right, but you have to if you understand and you understand business, so you would have to set up a category, right, to exist in for the money now to go in there.
Right.
Why? Because they would have to look at the fact that there is a market for that product. Here's when what I'm saying is gonna bring light. Is gonna show its proof. What I'm saying is that 5, 10, 15 dope ass adult contemporary rappers come out, and then now that's a category at the BET Awards, and the winner for the next adult contemporary rap is hip hop.
I don't want that. I want the winner for the best hip hop.
But you
understand what I'm trying to say? Because now I won for adult contemporary, but I can't fuck with these niggas.
Both of y'all are right.
No, we are.
That's what I'm saying. I want to be in the same.
Hold on. And I understand exactly what it would be great. If
I'm about to tell you.
It would be great if that was the case and it could exist like that.
Right.
It's not set up to be that.
Right.
So you have a lot of people.
That's why the Grammys is whack.
Nah, but we ain't watching what they talking about. They've been lost. Like you talking about old white people.
And for the reason why they've come in and like squared out and say, okay, well, we've taken out a certain portion of the music that we're not going to put any money behind. We're not going to do anything to even get it out. So even if you are dope, you're not going to be heard.
This
so
is
now
the
you're
thing,
kind of
though.
always riding that underground train.
But
But if I put a segment open to you where you could fit in that shit
and be heard.
I
smell you.
There's a platform.
But wait. This is the thing with that, right? Because me and DJ Waggy T had a conversation about this a long time ago. Because we were talking about Def Jam, and he's like, he don't understand why Def Jam doesn't have like a golden era art like Wing, like Redman and Method Man at the time, right? And this is years ago. But this ain't the 90s, you know what I mean? We talking about like 2000s or whatever.
Yeah.
Because obviously the music changed and nobody was focused on what they were necessarily doing. I mean, we knew what time it was. Right. But as far as like, he was saying, it should be marketed to people in that demographic, like if that age group or whatever. Right. I agree. Because the thing is, right, I get what you're saying because that makes sense as an artist. You're like, nah, it's just like when you're like, the best female rapper, and it's like, no, I just want to be a rapper. Exactly. Like, I get that.
Exactly.
A female can win best rapper.
What Mark is saying is that if you give it a category like that and you show that it's viable, because that's the whole thing. All they want to know is that it's viable. Because it's just like now when they're like, black people don't watch movies and shit. It's like, well, what? Like, why we don't like all them movies that are big, like white movies or whatever? It's because black people's watching this shit too. Like, is that what I'm saying? Obviously, we go out and we watch movies. Just like at one point, they thought like black people wouldn't buy like color TVs. Like, where they gonna get the money? It's the dumbest shit you ever heard of. Right. Who doesn't want a color TV if you've always had a black and white TV? Right. You can get it, and then when you think about it, the spending power that comes from our community, whether it be black, brown, whatever it is. We support all the other shit. It has to be supported from our communities, right? So I think what needs to happen is we need to take ownership back of hip hop, right?
course.
And remove ourselves from like this corporate way of thinking. Like as far as like now you can do it independently, right? But we need enough of us doing it, and we need to support one another so we make our own community, like the way it was in the beginning. Honestly, it need to go back to that.
And that's the biggest struggle.
right
That's
there.
the biggest
Exactly.
thing.
Who's
That's
gonna
the
do it
main
though?
thing.
That's the biggest
Who's gonna
thing.
do it though?
And everyone who keeps saying who gonna do it is never gonna be.
If people stop
They gotta-
voting for
they gotta
Trump,
start
maybe it'll work.
You just take one person
Stop voting for
and then,
Trump.
You know what I mean? Like you kind of build it and then go from there. But it gotta start from.
But the
When
reason-
Grandmaster Cash wanted to do parties in the goddamn in the fucking park, he didn't ask a motherfucker.
Just went and
He said,
did
this
it.
is what I'm gonna do,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he
Unless
didn't have
he
an intent to
follows
say,
behind
and
it.
I'm gonna start hip hop because hip hop probably wasn't even a word at the time.
Right,
He just wanted to start a party, and that started a movement, that started a culture, that started a lifestyle. Now it's everywhere in the fucking world.
You're right.
Okay.
The people have the power.
Nintendo, man. It's a wrap.
But they
What
gotta,
it is.
they gotta
It's a wrap.
choose to utilize it though.
Yeah.
That's the
And
thing.
Support it. Yeah, no doubt.
They just Minecrafted.
This is all it is, man.
Exactly.
The formula sounds easy, you know what I mean? But it's
Exactly.
always
The
a
format
numbers
is
game.
Exactly. We could talk about this forever. Yeah, this is it's a great idea.
The blueprints is there.
It's there.
If you
It's
decide
been
not to
there.
follow it, that's your problem.
Because you got to get people to fucking fall into that shit.
You know, people always say, everyone's always saying, why they keep promoting this whack music? Why does this fucking mumble rap keep getting burned? It keeps getting burned because the kids. I want to blame the youth, the people who listen to music, who consume the music, but it's hard to blame them because they were fed that shit and said it was dope. Here, this is dope. So now they can't help it. Now it is dope because it's like dope because now you can't stop it. You got to keep listening to shit, right? But you got to blame, and then I want to blame the A&Rs for still picking up these motherfuckers that they only picking them up because they're selling.
I heard a theory years ago, right?
It's hard to put the blame game.
And this is the thing about it, right? Let's talk about like Taylor Swift, right? The same people that are making Future go platinum are the same people that are making Taylor Swift go platinum. Meaning that that's what it's become now, right? Because the way they're looking at popular music, they just throw it all in there, right? And like I said, right, growing up in like the 80s and the 90s, we actually grew up when popular music was good, right? Like it was very well around.
Michael Jackson.
Right,
Yes,
like
exactly.
for real, right?
We listen
like,
to multiple genres.
Yeah,
right.
correct.
And then
I drop
you
to
know
the
what?
keys and I listen to classic rock.
Now listen,
feel me?
right?
Like,
But you know
we
what?
listen to classic rock.
That's going back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
See, how can classic rock survive, right? And we don't have that in hip hop because we've evolved to the point where we need to have that at this point. Because and then you know what's happening if you're looking at what I'm looking at all around the country, you have like these stations that are playing classic like hip hop, like 80s and 90s and R&B and all that shit.
We
that
got
you're
one
not
right
getting.
here.
Yeah.
92.7.
You know what I mean?
92.7.
So right, and then you have on what 105.5
like
in
105.5.
like Fort Lauderdale or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
So in New
I
York,
give
we
thanks
have-
for that, yo. Like you know what I mean? So the whole
We
thing.
have another one.
Going back to what you said too though. As far as I guess how we want the music to be and all of that, because I'm just thinking about when you said the whole BET thing and MTV.
Right.
Here, BT is a sellout. You know what I mean? Fucking
But they
Bob.
own
No,
it. Bob
but this is what I'm trying to tell you. My whole point is keeping the ownership of what could keep what we're saying going. Because if Bob Johnson sold BT for $3 billion and now it's worth $90 billion, that was a sucker ass move.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? And that's why we don't have the shit that we're saying about right here.
But you gotta look at the time though, right?
No, it's
because
not always
you can look
timing.
at Bob Johnson and say that now.
Right.
Bob Johnson at that time when them cats would step to him and say, "Yo, we'll give you this
You
for
know
that."
$3 billion?
Had he had the Master P,
Right,
mentality,
Right.
like yo, if these cats coming at me with
With
this, that
three,
means because they're gonna
I get
take this
60.
and do what they
Yeah,
want to do with it and make
and
this shit way more.
that's what it is. That's what it
ridiculous.
is. Even this, and I'm gonna say this, because even one of the biggest things, the whole metaverse is Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
Google was trying to buy that motherfucker for like $39 billion at one point. He didn't sell. And how much is Mark Zuckerberg worth now? So it's kind of going with what you just said.
Because you got to know what your worth is.
Exactly. Every
That's
time.
what
because they're going to come for you.
Exactly. If we give it away, how are we ever going to get it back? How is it even going to stay in rotation if we always quick to
How
give it
crazy!
away?
I know you want to say. I want to give a quick comment. Y'all remember 2 months ago, 3 months ago, this whole Kanye West shit, right? And I don't like shedding so much light on it, but how crazy it is that everything we're saying here had to do what Kanye was saying. He wasn't wrong what he was saying. His approach sucked.
Yes.
Because if I got the best best business plan, but I come at you like, shut the fuck up. This is how we're gonna build it. I already got the money. This is going in the ground. You're gonna be like, this motherfucker crazy. But I said, yo, I got a great plan. I got $2 billion. I want to build a mini mall. I want you to. I'm put the money. You're gonna run it. You're gonna be the co-founder. You're both gonna get paid $2 million. You're gonna be like, wait, this makes a little sense, right? Because the way I approached you was cool. Because I heard Kanye talking real calm after that, and I was like, I agree with everything he fucking said.
Right.
But his approach sucked. His delivery was not cute. That's it. But he wasn't wrong in what he was saying, because look what y'all saying. Exactly what he was saying, man. We got to get back our own ownership, have our own stuff. Kanye will be good. He lost all those endorsements, right? You know why he'll be good? He has so much money, he could do an Oprah, put his own network out. The Kanye West network, and he could show whatever he wants on it. Why? Because he owns it. So basically, all these Adidas, all the motherfuckers, they set him free. So in a way, he was liberated. You understand?
Give me that money, Kanye.
You have to agree on that. He was a slave to them. And how do you know he was a slave? Because the minute he said one little fucking thing, they dropped his ass. Like, you're not following protocol. Get the fuck up out of here. How about Kyrie?
Same thing.
Oh, you want ball again? You gonna pay us $500,000? You can go to the Jewish community. You can apologize. Hold on, y'all black man the fuck out me. How about I just apologize, motherfucker?
Right, and that's just it. I said some shit. I approached.
You know anybody they ever fucking told to do fucking 5 things to get back to their job?
Shit, look
I don't know any.
Look at that white boy that played for the Eagles back in the day that said some racist shit.
Homie.
All he had to do was say, "I'm sorry."
How about
well, you already know what time it is with
that.
We'll just have it like 2 years ago. I thought you were gonna say the other quarterback. Like 2 years ago, he stole some money from some fund.
Brett Favre.
Yeah. Ain't heard no apology to shit.
Okay, let's talk about that real quick.
Shit.
So you remember when the Brett Favre shit came out, right? Boom. What was the next? What was the next sensational thing that they put out there automatically to like kind of quell that shit?
That? Yeah. I don't remember, but they did it real quick though.
Was the shit with the coach for the Boston Celtics? The shit got chicken aside. You notice once they threw that shit out there, it was like
Brett Favre who?
Kill the Brett Favre story.
Because they love him.
Because I'm like, my nigga, him cheating on his girlfriend with some chick at the fucking thing. That's not news. That's not news. Like, I don't give a fuck about it. It's like Bill Clinton getting his dick sucked in the office. We don't care about that shit.
It's a distraction.
All the people that crucify like that dude, you doing the same thing, but nobody don't know.
We gave Bill Clinton his flowers for that.
We don't give a fuck about that.
Oh, okay. That's something else.
Let me tell you something. Had I been Bill Clinton,
we actually like that. I voted for the right motherfucker.
Had I been Bill Clinton, I'd have been like, listen, this shit is between me and my wife.
Yeah.
And I don't gotta say
and
sorry
the dry
to nobody
cleaner because
else
he came on her skirt. Remember that?
Right, and I pay for the dry cleaner.
They know.
Right, exactly.
That's it.
The Republicans was trying to shut it down.
But yeah,
they didn't want you to vote for
it. They were trying to get him out of office.
And they still didn't get him out.
And it was he got more votes. It was shut anyway.
He became more popular.
Because
he was relatable. People is like, nigga, you really going after this man for getting fucking his dick sucked in his fucking office? Really? Motherfuckers sitting there like, we do that shit every day.
Oh yeah,
niggas sitting there, we doing that shit every day.
1,000 though, because he was relatable. He got more. Man, I'm talking about dudes who never voted in their life without voting for his ass.
I like that.
I like
2 times.
I like him.
2 terms he had. And left with a surplus. And left shit with the balance, with the budget balance and a surplus.
No facts. This is facts.
So I think every fucking president should get his dick.
Right. That's what it takes to make the country good. Yeah.
That's real talk though.
You guys, I mean,
the presidency is a lot of stress.
Right. You saw Obama left with all them grades. He came in there with all the niggas grade.
All of them people.
All the motherfuckers. Yeah, he had super grade. I mean, look at Biden. He been there 2 years. He half dead already. You understand me? So I know it's stressful.
They're gonna have to put Biden on a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
For the next debate.
He's going in, right? Like he said he's going to run.
I mean, we'll see.
I didn't hear him say that.
We'll see. He said he has
Trump is the one.
Trump said he was.
Yeah, Trump is coming.
Trump has to.
Trump is coming.
Trump has to. He has no choice.
Trump's
He's trying to do that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's crazy now.
The middle one.
I was going to say, you think he could win? I mean,
Who?
it is Trump.
Who?
Trump.
No.
I mean, on a personal level,
Anything could happen.
on a personal level, I say no, and here's the reason why I say that. Right?
He's gonna win it anyway, but I don't think he's an asshole.
Here's the reason why I say he won't.
Who's
win
going
it
against him?
The midterms. What the midterms was a precursor to the amount of people that stepped away from him. Yeah. Right. So he had what? He had the second highest vote tally in history next to Biden.
All right.
Right? So those were all these people that still voted for him.
Right.
After January 6th, a lot of people stepped the fuck away.
His own Republican Party stepped
a lot
away.
of, and like I said, and the midterms that just happened.
That's where it showed
which is
proof.
historic. Showed proof.
Yeah, no, facts.
They won the House.
No,
he's not talking about Republicans. He's saying that the supporters of Trump, a lot of them stepped away from him.
Listen, Eddie, they should have won, honestly, as far as history goes, they should have won like 50, 50, 60 seats. Republicans overturning Democratic seatings in the House, Senate. They should have won the House. They should have won the Senate.
We got the Senate.
They should have won governorships. They should have won a bunch of shit. Right, so it's not just necessarily what happens in D.C. It's also what happens in the states too.
No, for
right?
sure.
So all those people that he endorsed, right, lost from Secretary of State to governors to some Senate seats. Right. No. Well, the only one Senate seat that got that. Well, actually, no. There's a couple of Senate seats that lost. That's why we're now looking at probably 51 for the Democrats at the end of the day. Right. I'm an independent. Right. I'm an independent, but I deal with fucking common sense policies at the end of the day. Because when you look at the Republicans say to their base is like, "Yo, vote for me," but we ain't promising you shit.
Right.
They have no platform. They have no policies that they talk about. At the end of the day, so what is Trump going to come on there and talk about? Grievances?
Stop.
Listen, which is what they
you
do.
know what?
Trump,
You don't
that
feel
don't matter
like
because he already came in with bullshit. They still
wait a
I'm just
minute.
scared. Who's running against?
He's turned off
You
a
know
lot of
what's
people.
crazy? You
A
know
lot
what's
of
crazy?
people.
Let me real quick. I
Yeah.
saw the map
They
of
did get
the
turned
whole
off.
midterm shit, right? The whole election shit. The country is all red in the middle. All red.
But the populations are small, though.
They
Yes, it
voting
does.
for these dudes.
No, here's the reason why.
They voting for this.
The reason why I say that, when you look at those same states that's in the middle
But
that's
he
red,
keeps saying,
go back and look at what the electrical...
They are voting Republican.
They're voting
Mark
for
saying
him.
they're not voting for Trump.
They
gonna
voting for
vote
him.
for Trump.
They're not
That's what
going to
he's
vote for
saying.
Trump, though.
They are voting
The
Republican.
big
though.
donors
Yes.
have stepped away from this. The mega
Yes.
donors have
They
stepped
did.
away.
They stepped
Niggas have
away. He lost them in the
publicly
midterms.
said this shit.
DeSantis is coming.
No, they
That's
fucking with
the one.
DeSantis.
No, that's the one that they
They
want.
fucking with
is gonna get it.
DeSantis.
He looked like he's
Nigga.
the predecessor to...
And I was
want
on
him
the
to.
cover of Life. I think it was
I don't
Life
want him.
magazine.
Let me ask you a question,
DE
Eddie.
Future, their future.
Let me ask you a question,
shit.
Eddie.
When they start printing that shit,
If
that
you had
devil
a
shit,
dude who had
you
influence,
you better
right?
wake the fuck up.
Yo, Babylon done that.
has,
They're playing.
wait the fuck up.
But has the amount of baggage that he has with the indictments that he about to get in a minute,
Listen,
you wouldn't
I'm
fuck with him.
you on that.
They did.
I'm with
They
you
backed
on what
up.
I'm saying.
They did
But
back
when
up
you
from him,
when
though.
you started off your jump off the whole shit, and then he was going talking about grabbing bitches in the crotch and all this and that, and
They
he
didn't care.
still got president.
No, but they didn't. Right.
These motherfuckers don't care.
Because
they want a
dealing with-
racist
they was
motherfucker
dealing
in
with
office to
grievance.
fuck with us again.
But
They
you
was
know
dealing
what,
with
though? I
grievance.
feel you on that. But I
That's
think
it, right.
but
That's
they
my
wanted
rule
to,
here.
But they wanted to be disguised though too. Though. Trump kind of said too much where he's too out there. And like you said, January 6th
want
fucked him
that.
up.
January 6th fucked him up.
Yeah,
Hold on.
DeSantis is the
Hold
one.
on.
Hold on. DeSantis is the one.
I gotta say one. I gotta say one thing.
DeSantis is
Listen,
it.
I gotta say one thing. I gotta say one thing because I like to keep shit consistent.
Yes.
We don't do politics that more than 2 minutes.
Oh,
of
no doubt.
We can talk about that.
I'm gonna tell you,
Who cares?
politics
No,
and
we done.
religion.
We done.
That's a never-ending
fuck Trump.
conversation.
That's right.
Okay,
Fuck Trump.
and we still, at the end of the day, still hug it out. But I'm just
Hang
saying,
out though. I said it.
super sensitive.
Fuck Trump.
Eddie said, "Yo, fuck Trump all day." Eddie said he thinks he might win. I said I don't think he will.
He
That's
gonna
it.
win. No, he gonna win.
I'm only scared of who's running against
like
this.
you
Right,
saying,
because it's a bunch of
Because this
bozos.
country
thing
is
is,
run by
I mean,
racism.
But you know the whole thing about it is, like, not to be fucked up or whatever, but people voting, they thinking they picking who's gonna be in there. Babylon have their plan from a long time ago. It's not about the everyday people. They put who they want in that motherfucker.
The 1%,
You know
right? The
what I'm
1%.
saying?
Yeah, you
Other
wanna
than
laugh?
that, we don't even know who that is.
You want to
know what I'm
laugh?
saying?
You want to laugh that you just said? I gotta tell this story.
Yeah.
Because that's the realest shit I ever heard right there. Just like Pac. He said like this. EFN told me one time he was watching some shit on the internet. This is to show y'all how real your shit is. There's a motherfucking FBI agent who time travels.
Yeah.
So this motherfucker goes back in time. Always to talk to whoever the next president's gonna be.
Yeah.
You there? You follow me?
Yeah.
So in this episode, he's like, I go back and I speak to the Bushes, George and Junior.
Yeah.
Senior's here, Junior right next to him. Whatever he was doing. Now we all know the personality of George Bush Jr.
Yeah.
So this story has to be 100% real.
Yeah.
You gonna laugh your dick off. And you know what I'm talking about. So he said like this.
I go back in time and I had to prep these motherfuckers to let them know they're gonna be president. So I visited them. I said, George Sr., you're gonna be president first, and then George Jr., you're gonna be president second.
Yeah.
It was more to it, but I'm getting to the president, you're gonna be president. George Jr. turns to Senior and goes, you heard that now? We's gonna be president. That's how I know that story's real. Because if he said that shit, that's how he really would have said it. And that was a time that this is the almost 100%. He was not. This is a real story, dude. The FBI agent said that they time travel is real, and that's what they did. They prepped the presidents.
Yo, Mama's on the work.
That's when he said that. That's what I got to let him know. That's real fucking up.
They're working.
And it don't sound so far-fetched.
And their work,
think about it.
Have nothing to do with my work. Because they can go on with that.
Two different words. It don't sound so far-fetched.
No. Let me tell you something. We don't know half of the shit that they have going on.
We don't even know what they want to say.
That's why they have us arguing and talking about this shit.
That's why we're talking about it right now.
They're like, yo,
we already got
this been planned out. Yo.
Shiny object over here.
Dog, it's like your cell phone.
Yeah.
You think 5G came about luckily? They got 10G.
Right, exactly.
The money is not in the cures and the comeback. Just like the cure for cancer. They got that. But if you
I
gonna pay the pills,
why cure you when I can just have you as a lifelong customer until you drop dead?
Cuba had a fucking cure for lung cancer.
Yeah.
Right? For a minute now. But obviously because it ain't gonna do any good over here.
How about the dude we heard about? The motherfucker had the cure for cancer, period. He dead.
Dr. Sebi.
He's dead.
Yeah. And look what they did to
AIDS
the dude
got
that
the
was trying
cure
to
for
put out his
AIDS. You
documentary.
think Magic looks better now than he did when he fucking started? He look better now than when he said he had AIDS 20 years ago. Who's the best person to be for AIDS? A famous motherfucker who's gonna come out and admit it? Well, that's a great. That motherfucker will make you believe that you're gonna live forever with AIDS. He's gonna give you confidence. If Magic can live, you can live. And what? You gotta buy this pill though.
Yeah.
You see that? You see the angle on that?
The cocktail.
And it's what
How much you think they pay Magic for that though?
It's a lot cheaper now because insurance is actually.
Now.
Do you really want to have AIDS? But it's mandatory.
No, it's not. No. At the end of the day,
niggas got a pill for that.
At least though, right? At least you'll live now. Because back in the 80s, motherfuckers were running scared. Easy was like, I ain't gay. We know. It ain't got shit to do with that, motherfucker. You ain't educated either, because it ain't about being gay.
People don't even talk about that shit.
Nobody they talk about AIDS like it's a
nobody's
flu.
really dying
Right.
from it.
Nobody's dying from it.
But it's crazy.
Does that mean that back in the days the numbers were obscured also to scare us? That people were already dying like that either? Because how are they living now like that?
It's just like the crack situation. It's like you let some shit out to let it do its fucking
To try
damage.
to kill a certain area, and it went to all areas.
You don't think
like
that
crack,
it's
that's
going to
spread out to the white community like a motherfucker.
Yo, remember when AIDS first came out? AIDS was a homosexual thing, right?
Exactly.
The homosexual thing is like, okay, that's not going to come into the heterosexual community.
Right.
Okay, well, that's because they weren't talking about the down low motherfuckers.
Yes, who are really married and giving to their wife and
bringing that shit into a heterosexual situation.
This is 1,000.
And then once it got into that situation,
it's like the crack. Or the drug use with the heroin.
It's like, oh shit.
Or niggas that came out of jail.
Or niggas in jail, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But going back to the Dr. Sebi thing though, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy because there was one person that wanted to put out his documentary and they shut that motherfucker down too. Nick Cannon.
I think Nick Cannon was talking
that boy ain't talking about who's talking about the documentary no more.
They shut him up ASAP.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny though too? They even took his show away.
Yeah.
The Nick Cannon show?
They stripped him.
Pharmaceutical companies.
Not even a year.
Very strong.
They show? Done, yeah.
Oh, word?
I didn't even know we had a day.
It was alright too.
Like some dance shows.
The Masked Singer. He marketable as fuck. Nick Cannon does a good job.
But to what you're saying.
First of all, don't watch TV. Babylon, you know what I do? I sit on my couch and I watch my TV. I reverse it. I sit on the TV and watch my couch.
You know what's ill? You ever heard about some shit called the ghost gun that the feds got? FBI?
What's that about?
This shit'll blow your motherfucking mind. Do not go down the rabbit hole on YouTube on this motherfucker. I am dead ass. You won't sleep.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of that.
The dude who really, I might be mixing facts here, but someone who killed someone. I want to say the dude who killed Kennedy, who really killed him.
Yeah.
That motherfucker caught a bullet to the heart with a ghost gun, which is a gun that the FBI has no traces on, no nothing. The bullet is so fucking goddamn small that once it hits you inside, it fucking explodes, and there's not, you can never even find particles of it.
You want to know why you can believe that?
And it gives you a heart attack.
Because think about these gun manufacturers.
These dudes
right?
are dying of heart attacks at 28 and 31.
Check it out, right?
That's why I said that's
every year they got a gun that can fire more rounds and shit. And they and the way you know how they sell it in the gun world? Oh, this is for animals killing animals.
Right.
Why do you need like a gun that can fire? I don't know,
Why
1,000 shots every second.
But you want to eat that
What?
motherfucker?
A true hunter is not gonna hunt an animal with a weapon.
But that's
That's
what's
how
to
they
show
market
you.
it.
That's what's to
Yeah.
show you that it's bullshit for
They
real.
doing it
Because
a real
if they
purge is
spending
gonna
their
happen.
time doing that, but they can't like
Facts.
solve other
Watch.
problems that we have, like hunger, homelessness, and all the other
No,
shit.
they don't want
But
to.
that's just
They
to
don't
show
want
you
to.
where they
They
at
want
with
it.
it, though.
Listen,
Look
they-
at Jamaica. There's not one gun factory in Jamaica, but the amount of guns out there.
That's in there, but you know what that's
Now
Go to the
one
hood,
gun
there's 14
factory.
in the hood.
That's
Yes,
one
politics.
hood.
Now one.
That's politics.
All of that, but it all ties in because all that is Babylon. Because the whole thing with them is they have their programming, and the thing is, if you can control the mass of people through fear, crime, whatever it is, that's what their goal is. You understand what I'm saying? What we're talking about, community and having our own thing and all that, they don't want us to even have them kind of conversations.
But that's why I don't fuck with
You know what I'm
church.
saying? Well, that's all
why I don't
Babylon
fuck
do,
with
though.
church. But I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything Babylon.
But that's
Yeah,
what
you mean more fire?
We are in Babylon.
No, here's the
What
reason why I
about
say
my
that.
horn?
Babylon is no
The
good.
reason why I say I don't fuck with church, right, is because like exactly what you're saying. It's perpetuating fear, right? And if you're a reader of scripture, the book doesn't perpetuate fear, right? It perpetuates whatever is to come first and how you're supposed to govern yourself. But I mean, I'm gonna get off this. I know we don't do religion, but at the end of the day, it doesn't perpetuate.
I went to Catholic school all my
it actually
goddamn
perpetuates-
life,
and it
man.
actually perpetuates life.
You know
Right?
what bothers me about church? Is that it's a business now.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
There's 18
But it's
offerings.
been a business
There's an
for
ATM
years.
in the fucking hallway.
Been in business since the 80s.
Jesus didn't pay his disciples to preach the word.
All right.
But you know
I'm
why
gonna
it's
just
a
say this
business?
one
This is
thing,
fucking
and I'm gonna drop the
You know why
mic.
it's a business,
Like
right?
you brought up like
I'm just saying,
Catholic,
it's a little crazy.
But Hector, you know
Yeah,
why
like
it's a
the
business,
Catholic
right?
Church,
Yeah.
they the
People don't
richest
read
church
from
on
the
planet Earth,
Oh,
right?
no.
But look
The
at
Bible
the
would rather
atrocities
churches where
that's
you're
come
at.
from that
Church
church.
can be right.
So more fire
It could be
upon them.
us
That's
sitting
all
in
I'm
this room
trying
and
to
we
say.
should say with two or three
That's
are gathered in my
it.
name,
You
know
can
that
do
I
it
am
by
here,
yourself
right?
in
All
your
day, every day.
motherfucking room.
That's it, bro.
What I'm saying is,
Minute up on
I've been to church when I was a kid. My mom made me all my life.
We all did.
So every year, went from $0.25 to $1 to $2. Like my offering had to go every year. I'm
Building
like,
fund every week.
I say, goddamn. And all I do is hear the preacher say, everything's gonna be all right.
10%.
Everything's gonna be all right for your ass. You leaving a fucking S500 with motherfucking a gold rolly, $10,000 suit. I'm still going back home to my fucking goddamn used fucking goddamn tricycle. You know what I'm saying?
And he don't
And
pay
it's
no
like,
taxes.
Why you think Kanye was doing the Sunday
All right,
service?
then. Let's
Right.
get on that.
Come on.
Word.
Fire upon them.
I don't wanna
You're not
get-
dumb.
I ain't trying to get struck
You're not
right now.
dumb. You gotta pay. Don't you gotta buy tickets to go
That's
to
just
that
that's the
jump?
only thing that bothers me
All
about
right,
church.
you see.
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
money.
It's money.
It's everything's a
I ain't
business,
mad at
though.
him.
Everything's a business.
Keep singing Jesus Walks. That's
You gotta
it.
hustle.
That's it.
Jesus Walks.
Look at your man in New York that got robbed doing fucking. Ah, yo, nigga, that's the.
He automatically doing
Babylon. It's Babylon.
You saw that shit?
It's Babylon.
That man flossing like a rapper. And it was like, yo,
Yo,
check this out,
your
man. You
man-
gotta come up out of that. Take it off.
All them TV evangelists that got 5 million followers, they all get caught in a hotel with a prostitute
Always.
smoking crack.
Always.
Like this motherfucker ain't playing.
Always.
Like
Talking about an 80s situation that went
it happened in
down.
'97,
And it was a mayor.
No, that's the mayor of DC, and he still won.
Yeah, he's
Still
still
won.
very
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 smoking crack and winning.
more relatable.
Like,
He smoked
no,
that
like Chris Rock said, smoke crack, got his job back. That's the best shit I ever heard in my life.
Ever get a chance, and I would tell you this, just go and fucking research Marion Barry and what he did. There's a reason why they fucking reelected his ass.
Oh, this
If you
gotta
ever
be a
get
reason.
chance, I'm telling you, if you ever get a
This
chance,
gotta be a reason.
I was right there where you was like, nigga, they reelected a crackhead.
Fuck.
When you go
On
and see
camera.
what he
On
did for his
camera.
ass,
That's DC.
You heard?
Yeah, Marion Barry
They
was
didn't
that
open the
dude
door.
for
And he
them,
was
man.
there. No,
But
they had a
America
camera in the
love a
room,
comeback
smoking
story
crack with a
anyway.
prostitute.
They love a comeback
Of course they
story.
love
Oh, they love it.
Yeah,
But
they-
that
They
got
love a
to
comeback
go
story.
check
Well,
out Marion
there's two
Barry
sides to that
as well.
story. They love a comeback story, but they also love a real fucked up ignorant story.
Yeah, well, you're
You know what I'm trying to
Well,
say?
it's America.
Because it's
Yeah.
Babylon.
Yeah, how you mean? More fire.
Yeah, they like
Babylon.
glorify
Booyaka, booyaka, gunshot.
They glorify the fuck out that hood shit. They love that shit. You know what I'm saying?
We live in Babylon.
Yeah.
Back
They
to
do,
the
man.
promotion shit.
Church needs promoters like y'all, motherfucker. Get the word out. You know what I mean?
Gotta get the word out there. The
God
original
did.
promoter.
Yo, Edwin
God
Church
did.
got more fire.
God had disciples, promoters.
Gospel.
All day.
God's promoters were
promote the
disciples.
gospel.
That's what it was.
Damn.
You mean? You would have had a lot more sales on that
Oh
thing.
wow,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
So-
right. You're right.
Listen,
Yo, I want a pizza from your spot.
we'll
right
get
now.
there in 2
It's- it's-
seconds.
Hey!
Listen, my tape is about to run out.
All right. Round it
We're
up.
running out of
First
tape
of all,
over here.
I appreciate y'all for coming. I already told you.
Appreciate you guys.
So,
Thank you for having
the
us.
street team,
Nah, we got
off
the
just the
hook
story and the culture is
promotions
super important to us. You know what I'm saying?
that was
So-
influential on
Yeah.
the streets.
So we
that
giving you, we just
making
want to
sure
give
you
the
got
off the
your
hook name straight. Let people know what the fuck happened, why they here, because y'all was here, and this is what it is. And yeah, I'm not saying you're the only promoters that are on the street, but y'all did your
Hold on,
shit.
man.
That's all that
We gotta
matters.
kind of go
I
down.
got
the
I already
alley,
told
right?
I already told
Yeah.
Booger I need him on the
All right.
show.
Before we
That's
get
right.
off,
Booger's coming on.
Hold
but
up.
before we get off, I do want you to
Yeah.
shout out as many motherfuckers as you can. Get
That's
their
what
names
I was
straight.
about to say.
Mirror, we got a big
So,
mirror.
And then I want you to give your socials out.
All right,
Okay.
so here we go. First and foremost,
Even though you're only
right?
on Facebook once a week.
J1 the rep. I'm on there all the time. I like to read. I read.
I like that. I like that.
You know what I
Reading
mean?
is essential.
Give
Hold
me
up.
that.
We
Give
got
me
to
that.
do like, J1's first, right?
Yeah.
Dame G is second. You know what I mean? We got to big up
Doc
Fresh.
Fresh.
and them, of
Doc
course.
Fresh.
Originators.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
How you
rest
mean,
in
man?
peace.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you said, Godfrey. You know what I mean? DWO.
DW, Big D.
Buttafuoco, of course. You know what I mean?
Buttafuoco.
Mix 96 crew
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
of that. No
yeah.
Cali without Mix 96
Exactly.
crew. Daddy,
No Cali
you know what I
without-
mean?
word
Daddy
up.
Saw.
Word up.
Right?
Daddy saw.
Hold up, man. You gotta help me out, man.
I
ain't
like
gonna do
that. I
everybody.
like you an archive on that.
Mirror. I got big up
Shout
Mirror.
out to other
Yeah,
crews.
Mirror.
Mirror.
Okay.
Mirror's on
Shout out to Mirror.
You got Street Dwellers.
Yeah. Marlon. Blame me and Marlon. Like, not Bahamas Marlon.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout out to
same-
We-
Khaled. don't
We the
forget.
best. We the best.
Shout
Kiko.
out to the
Shout out
Cream
to
family,
Khaled.
to Rob,
Yeah.
AD, you know what I mean?
All right.
DJ
Word.
Epps.
Yeah. Night
Shout
Breeders.
out to
210
210
Jack.
Jack.
Yeah, Night Breeders.
Yeah, Phil the Mayor.
Shout
To
out
the
to
man.
Mayonnaise. Shout out to
Yeah.
Spaz.
That's it.
Yes.
Bulletproof. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Original
Bulletproof.
manager. Now
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
big
yeah.
things on the radio.
Yo, he was-
Shit, nigga, look at
Rest in
Walsh.
peace, Uncle
Yeah,
Al.
Washi
Uncle
Fire.
Al.
Rest in peace, Uncle Al.
R.I.P. Uncle Al. Word up.
DJ Suicide.
Yeah.
DJ Cool G. DJ
Shout out
Irie.
to Derek B.
Derek B.
Tony G, the promoter. Can't forget
Oh
about
yeah,
him,
yeah,
right?
NFA, yeah,
All
NFA.
of
Now,
that.
yeah, or where Drink Champs host the record.
Oh,
yeah,
Tony G is part of that. You know,
Headliners.
Headliner.
So-
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Right.
headliners promotion. Word
yeah,
up.
Shane.
Shout out to Tony.
Angel
Tony
got
Calvin.
that whole
Phil the
big time.
man.
Yeah,
You know
He
what I
said
mean?
Phil.
Oh, he
Mauricio.
said
We'll give him again.
Mauricio, Papa Keith. You know what I
Papa
mean?
Keith.
Oh,
Syndicate.
Yeah, so
TK.
Syndicate.
Castro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
K-Lox.
DK.
Virtual Kings.
That's a whole. That's a whole planet.
That's a lot of motherfuckers
lot
that
of
we
motherfuckers.
doing shit out here.
Hold on.
That's a
You know what I'm saying? So you
planet
can't,
right
no
there.
one can say nothing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
names
rest in
that's
Imagine
peace,
that
going on.
network.
Bug
Imagine
G.
the numbers in that network, though. What could happen? You understand what I'm talking about?
Yo, Mix
Yeah.
96 was a fucking dope situation.
Oh, shout out to Coop
Yeah, we
DeVille.
know.
You talking about
Yeah.
Mix
Oh,
Coop
Coop
DeVille.
DeVille,
Coop
word.
DeVille.
Snow
Snow
White.
White.
DJ Snow White, big up Snow White. Word up, man.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
That's
Oh,
why.
Ingrid.
Hey, I'm glad y'all got. I'm
Ingrid
glad
B.
you.
Ingrid B.
I'm glad you even have all that in your
That
Rolodex.
Rolodex is still long.
Yeah,
Word.
and I'm sure there's still people. Mother Superior.
Oh, that's fine. Big up
yeah.
Mother Superior.
Dynash.
Well, good,
just
like
saw
you said,
my
Arthur,
dog
all
Dynash.
points.
Oh, okay. We're done.
R.I.P.
What
Mike
up?
Ripper. You know
Yeah,
what I
Mike
mean?
Rip.
Shout out to my people in New York. Shout out to
Here we go.
Shout
And with that, we're gonna wrap this shit up. We gotta wrap it up. I'm gonna quit on the wrap it up. Hold on, you think we got this up? Hold on, till 5 till I die.
Wrap it up.
That's why you back here. I'm gonna do my own big up, and I'm gonna big up my Crazy Hood Street team.
Big up.
They put in work like a motherfucker.
Shout out to
You
Crazy
understand? I'm talking about
All
all motherfucking day.
EFN.
Respect.
My dog
Shout
Boris,
out to
my
Queens,
dog
New York.
Eddie.
Shout
Everybody's
out to
motherfucking
Queens.
killed this shit. Paul's rapping with me too.
Paul was rapping too. He was
Yeah,
rapping.
yeah,
He's
I'll
a
give
new
it
On
a-
to something else.
You know what I mean?
Garcia.
Garcia.
Garcia rapper too.
We talk about the rapping.
And now he's a
aspect.
director.
Yeah.
No, we're not giving them props because they wasn't
Garcia
on
was
the
the-
show.
Garcia was
Me
the
and
promo.
Boris right here.
That's true.
And my
That's
other
true.
little
That's
soldiers.
true. That's true.
Hey, my brother Orlando. Orlando was the original. Me and Orlando was the original.
Shout out to Orlando.
Come on, man.
Shout out to Orlando.
Yes. He's living the life. We'll talk in a minute.
Shout out to Scam.
He's living the
Shout out to Scam.
Scam is my brother.
That's my brother too.
We'll be doing an interview with him in about 2 weeks. Don't worry. That's my bro. That's my bro. I love Scam Beezy. Listen, the 305 history.
Daquan.
Hey, that 305 history. This is. We gotta do 2 segments for
Scam, I
that.
love you.
We ready.
I just wanna listen. I just wanna thank y'all for coming out.
for y'all.
Thank y'all for coming out.
Oh, dirty. Part 2 coming up on the next.
This is home for y'all. This is home for
We
y'all.
appreciate y'all.
Part 2, we
We appreciate y'all, and we're gonna do our best to burn this shit and have motherfuckers hear the history because it's important to us.
We need that.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Mark for being out here with us too.
Hannibal Heckler, Eddie the Ass, the Grumpy OGs. We out, man.
We out.
Yep.